end zone.
The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
The Spartans look for their first Big Ten win of 2025. MSU is Bloomington bound, facing Indiana. Kickoff Saturday at 3:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want.
Do it!
100.9 The Mitt.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello. Good morning. And welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. We got a lot to get to today. We put off college football yesterday, which means today is going to be college football centric. Michigan State, Michigan. Can't say both programs are feeling very good about themselves at this moment in time. So we're going to get to both. We'll take a trip around the league eventually. We'll get to the news. And, of course, we'll do our Tuesday Tower. A lot of shakeup in that this week. But let's kick things off with the Michigan Wolverines, who are fresh off of a loss to USC. And I told you guys last week, I think Michigan is struggling to find an identity. That remains true today. Michigan has always been built in the trenches, right? Michigan has always been built on the run game, stopping the run, getting after the quarterback. They're going to bully you where it matters. Old school football brought back in 2023, 24, 25 under Jim Harbaugh, and now trying to translate over to Sherrone Moore. The only problem is they're not very effective at stopping the run. They don't bully anyone on offense, specifically with the offensive line. And they are really lucky they were able to land Justice Haynes because, yes, he is incredible. He's a great running back, one of the best in the country. His offensive line's not really doing him any favors. Right? If you were going to go rank the best offensive linemen in the Big Ten, Michigan probably doesn't have one in the top 15. They certainly don't have an NFL player on that offensive line this year, which is new for the Michigan Wolverines. And as for the defensive line, I mean, the third-string running back for USC ran for 158 yards, which was the worst performance Michigan's defense has allowed, or the best performance, since Kenneth Walker ran for 1 quadrillion yards against Michigan. 197 to be exact. And one of those runs that the USC, again, third-string running back had, was 49 yards on 3rd and 26. That kind of stuff will make you pull your hair out. Yeah, it's a tough place to play. You go across the country, it's a night game. You were underdogs for a reason. But Michigan State was able to put up 34 points against USC out west. Illinois was able 31, excuse me. Illinois was able to put up 34 though. And Michigan scored 13. The offense couldn't get the ball rolling. Bryce Underwood, for as great as he was early on, it feels like hasn't taken the necessary steps forward through 6 games. The easiest stuff, the stuff that's supposed to be routine, the 5-yard out passes, the outlet passes to the running backs, all that stuff seems really difficult right now for Bryce Underwood. And we can talk about potential and the arm talent and the 1% athleticism. He has a 59.7% completion percentage, which is at the bottom of the Big Ten. He's thrown for 5 touchdowns all year, which is at the bottom of the Big Ten. Right now, Bryce Underwood is a below-average quarterback. And for the most part, his receivers haven't really done him too many favors, neither have his tight ends. But now you've got McCulley coming along. Now you've got Marsh coming along. Those guys have stepped up as the wide receiver 1 and 2 on this team the past couple of weeks. And it still hasn't really made that big of a difference in terms of how explosive Michigan's offense can be. Because as soon as Haynes was taken out of that game, you felt it, right? I still believe in Bryce Underwood to be a future, All-American. But that seems a long way down the road right now. And I'm just wondering whether or not Michigan is doing him any favors from a coaching staff perspective. What is this identity of the offense? Is it run heavy with play action? Is that how Bryce Underwood's going to cook? Is it, drop back in the shot? Is it just play in the shotgun? 5 out, let him go crazy. Like, it feels like Michigan has no identity or no clue what they want to do on offense. And I think part of that is Sherrone Moore being here and there and suspended and not suspended. And part of that is just Sherrone Moore maybe not really having an idea on how to properly assign, what it is that how to properly communicate what it is that Bryce Underwood is supposed to be doing and how it's supposed to help them to win. Right? Because let's face it, Michigan's 2 best games of the year were against Central Michigan and Nebraska, both of which Sherrone Moore was not present. And yeah, I know Central Michigan, the most inferior opponent that Michigan has had, but that was the only game where they just clocked the team right from the beginning. And that was a Bryce let him cook game. And then he comes back and it's more of the run-heavy team. Look, I think it should be a run-heavy team, but it feels like the switching back and forth, not really knowing, that is what's really hurting Bryce Underwood right now. If we want to do a little cross-sport comparison, what have we said about Colt Keith for the last couple of months? Him playing different positions on defense every single day affected his ability to hit the plate. Well, Michigan having a totally different game plan and not really sinking their feet into anything, I think is affecting Bryce Underwood because he can't get comfortable. Again, even the easy stuff doesn't feel comfortable right now for Bryce Underwood. And his defense is doing him no favors. For years and years, it was impossible to run on this Michigan defense. And if you wanted to drop back and pass, you had to get rid of the ball quickly because there were dudes ready to get you. That's not really the case this year. Jayshon Barham's been great. He's a freak. I'm sure he'll be drafted in the first round. He can't stop the run. And he's not getting to the quarterback as much as you would necessarily hope he is. He's winning his matchups, but the sacks haven't necessarily come with it. I am worried about this Michigan team being mediocre. And we can hang our hats on, well, they're just going to beat Ohio State and get into the playoffs. And I'm guilty of it too, because, well, if you win out, which you should be favored every game the rest of the way, and you beat Ohio State, a team that you've had their number for the past 5 seasons, then yeah, you probably will be in the playoffs. But as of right now, they're unranked. Their 2 losses are to 2, good teams, not world beaters in Oklahoma and USC. In Ohio State, let's face it, guys, they look like the best team in the country by far. And I already know what's going to happen. There's going to be Michigan fans that text in the show and say, well, they're not losing to Ohio State. And that's fine. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. And honestly, look, until Ohio State beats Michigan, I'm probably with you. But there's a chance Michigan is going into that game as a full touchdown or maybe even double-digit underdogs. They're really banking on that game saving their season. But, guys, under Sherrone Moore, through his first 17 games, Michigan is 10-7. Little trip down memory lane, Jim Harbaugh was 14-3. Brady Hoke was 13-4. Sherrone Moore's not necessarily living up to what he was handed. He was handed the keys to a national championship program, granted that had a ton of turnover. He didn't have a quarterback last year. He has one this year, and it's been mostly the same. 4-2 record through 6 weeks. Sherrone Moore, if there's one thing he is great at, it is recruiting, it is hitting the portal, it is getting 5 stars to come to Michigan. When it comes to the on-field product, I'm not exactly sure what it is that Sherrone Moore does that we can point to and say, that is why he's a great coach. They haven't come up with enormous wins outside of Ohio State, which if that's all you need, then so be it. But I thought after a couple of games, we raised the expectations for this team to be a playoff team. Now all of a sudden their backs are already against the wall. The 2 games that were supposed to be close, supposed to be coin flip games, they have not gone in favor of Michigan. And again, I'm not totally shocked that they lost to USC. They were underdogs. But guys, they got dog walked. USC ran circles around them. Michigan couldn't stop the run. They couldn't stop the pass. Their defense felt helpless at times, and their offense picking up 4 consecutive first downs on a same drive felt near impossible. They're going to have to take some steps forward at some point. And you know what? We can protect him because he's a freshman. But Bryce Underwood's got to show some signs of progression. Because, yes, he's a freshman, but there's also never been a freshman in the history of college football to be making $12 million. That's their starter. That's your guy. And we have not really seen progression from week 1 until week 6. Maybe some of that's the coaching staff. Maybe some of that is game plan, which I guess would also just go back to the coaching staff. But this Michigan team has been mediocre this season, and I don't want that to become the new normal. 989-837-6125. Do you believe that Sherrone Moore's the guy? I just want to put that out there. And maybe that's jumping the gun. I'm not at all saying that Sherrone Moore should not be there anymore. But I just want to do a check-in because it's been 2 years, a year and a half, I guess, and I still have no idea if Michigan fans approve of Sherrone Moore. I have not a clue. Now, I know how the Michigan State fans feel about Jonathan Smith, and I know how I feel about Jonathan Smith. But when it comes to Sherrone Moore, I think there's a lot of question marks, and way more question marks than there are answers. So give me your thoughts on that. Michigan fans, I'm talking to you. Do you believe that this is the right guy to run the program? 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Like I said, it's going to be a college football-centric show today. We're starting with the Michigan Wolverines. We'll get to Michigan State at 10:30. 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technologies. Need strong tech? That's where Iron Stack comes in. Locally owned in Midland, they keep your IT rock solid from cybersecurity to cloud services and everything in between. Think of them as like an invisible backbone to your business. No capes, just smarter solutions. Whether you're a small shop or a growing company, IronStack makes sure your tech doesn't crumble under pressure. IronStack Technologies, strong, steady, and built to keep you moving forward.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Rivalry renewed. The 6-1 Freeland Falcons and the 6-1 Frankenmuth Eagles. The winner takes the Tri-Valley Conference Red. Freeland, Frankenmuth. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 on Friday night.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think we're nearing the end of the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State. I think Scott Harris trading for a half dozen pitchers at the trade deadline is officially a failure considering how the season ended. I think the Detroit Lions are going to give the Packers an astronomical revenge whooping on Thanksgiving later this year. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon, presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat, from Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a two-hearted ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. (989-837-6125). Welcome back in. I am curious as to whether or not Michigan fans think Sherrone Moore is the dude to lead this program, because I don't think Michigan has gotten better here from week 1 to week 6. They got their butts kicked in on Saturday. Look, they were dogs. They were 2.5-point dogs. I don't think anyone thought they were going to go out there and get dog walks the way that they did against USC. That was an embarrassing game, guys. Like, there's no way around that. There's no workaround around that. That was an embarrassment for the Michigan program, and I'm curious as to whether or not you guys are still locked into the Sherrone Moore thing, because it's been now, 17 games for Sherrone Moore. Way more question marks than there are answers when it comes to the on-football product. 989-837-6125. 6125. Kyle, where are you at with this? Do you think that Sherrone Moore is the guy here for the Wolverines? And I feel like when I say that, it almost comes off as like hot takey, clickbaity. We're trying to do like a, like get a reaction out of people when it comes to, oh, do you think Sherrone Moore's the guy? But I don't know. I really do. I'm starting to wonder whether or not I think he's that person for the Michigan Wolverines. And I don't think he's on the hot seat or anything. I'm just trying to get a gauge on the Michigan fan base as to where this guy is.
Yeah, I mean, I've held the same opinion about Sherrone Moore kind of ever since he was taking over as the Michigan head coach. And I've just always viewed him as the guy under the wing of Jim Harbaugh, the guy who he's not the same leader that Jim Harbaugh is. He's going to fill all of the same philosophies that Harbaugh did, which were obviously great for the program of Michigan. I'm not denying that. But my number one opinion about Sherrone Moore this entire time, going back to last year, this season, whatever it is you take a look down the road for Michigan. 5 years down the road, 8 years down the road, 3 years down the road. I never pictured Sherrone Moore as the long-term coach of Michigan. This entire time. I always viewed Sherrone Moore as a short-term answer to all of the issues that happened with the exit of Jim Harbaugh. With probably the world that was never going to happen. Harbaugh probably was going to stay as Michigan's coach forever if obviously all the stuff didn't go down for them. So for me, I always viewed Sherrone Moore was just the guy who they pivoted to in a crisis, and he was going to be a solid bridge guy for a couple of years, and then they were going to find their long-term head coach of the future. And I still feel that same way. Obviously, it's much easier to feel that way now than it was 2 years ago. But right now, yeah, I mean, Sherrone Moore to me is by no means the long-term head coach of the Wolverines.
You see what he showed up to his press conference wearing yesterday?
What, the jacket?
I thought it was so corny.
When he said, I'm the guy that wears the blue jacket or whatever?
Yeah, he showed up wearing a blue-collar jacket to his press conference, and he said it was a message to everyone in the program that the season's not over and it's time to go back to work because we're a blue-collar team.
Okay.
Is that really how you're going to motivate your guys? You're going to wear blue-collar to work and say we're a blue-collar? That's what you're going to do? Like, I'm watching Dan Campbell get everyone fired up with his speech, and he comes in, this blue jacket's going to get everyone pumped up. What are you It's corny, dude.
And look,
it's corny.
I know that we're sitting here crapping on Sherrone Moore.
That's not even what we're doing.
Well,
though.
yeah, but like you talked about in the open, phenomenal recruiter. Has been an unreal coach at getting guys to Michigan, getting top recruits, getting top transfers, bringing in Justice Haynes, like you talked about, what a get from the portal. Obviously, Bryce Underwood, we're not going to act like Sherrone Moore didn't play into that because he for sure did. So, absolutely is a tremendous recruiter, which sometimes that's all it takes, right?
That's going to get you places.
That's absolutely going to get you places. That's going to get you to the spot they're in right now. I don't think there's that many people that are going to complain about if teams or fans of other teams to swap spots with Michigan.
No, there's a lot of teams that would rather be in the position that Michigan is right now. But let's face it, when you have that block M as your logo, the expectation's a little bit higher than 4-2.
Especially when you just won a national championship a couple years ago and had Jim Harbaugh as your head coach.
And landed the number 1 overall recruit in the entire country who happens to play quarterback.
Correct. Especially with all these other, big-time head coaches in the Big Ten, now that conference has expanded, even a Lincoln Riley who you're going against last week. Any Michigan fan would tell you there's a handful of coaches in the Big Ten that you'd rather have than Sherrone Moore. Plenty.
Signetti and Lanning. I'm not going to say Ryan Day. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
Kirk and Signetti and Lanning are no doubters, though.
Right, and then maybe a Lincoln Riley even still. He has the recruiting and
for sure.
So, and it's not to say that Sherrone Moore should be the best coach in the Big Ten, but shouldn't you want the best coach in the Big Ten at Michigan? Because you did have it for a long time, That should
be the expectation. That should be the desire, and it doesn't feel like Sherrone Moore has done anything to make us believe that that's even possible down the road.
Right.
That's the unfortunate part about it. They've lost their identity. They're supposed to be tough up front. USC just ran circles around them on the ground. They had 2 rushes for over 40 yards. That would never happen over the past couple of seasons. It would never happen.
And it truly does feel like, especially with getting those 2 games with Biff as the interim, where you feel like Sherrone Moore has almost not that he doesn't trust Bryce Underwood, but there's a clear hesitation there to let things go with the freshman quarterback, Whereas the 2 games with Biff Poggi, I didn't expect that to happen just because it's still the same team. Like, Biff Poggi's still on the coaching staff when Sherrone Moore coaches, so you figured it would still go the same way, and it truly didn't. And I'm not saying that, like, Biff Poggi should be the head coach instead of Sherrone Moore, but it just makes you question. It just makes you question if you're a Michigan fan, like, what truly is the best opportunity for Bryce Underwood and this program going forward. And I think a lot of them would probably say someone other than Sherrone Moore.
In Sherrone Moore, he's not calling offensive plays, to be clear, but I'm sure he has an impact on the game plan. He's not calling defensive plays. Outside of recruiting, I guess I'm not sure what it is that this guy does. Is it he gets them fired up and motivated by wearing a blue collar to practice? That's all he does? I'm just trying to figure out what it is that Sherrone Moore does on a week-to-week basis to help this program take steps further. Because I have not seen this team progress over the first 6 games of this season. If anything, it's been stale, it's been stagnant, and maybe they've even taken a step backwards. Because remember the show we did after their first game? We were so blown away by Bryce Underwood. We were like, oh my God. Like, I don't even care if it's against New Mexico State. We got to raise the ceiling. That was incredible. Everyone falls victim to week 1, but man, I watched that game and I'm like, this is going to be nuts to watch this kid play this year. That's the best game he's played. Right? Like, and that was before
the CMU game, yeah.
That or the CMU game. I mean, maybe you can throw the Nebraska game in there as well, but he hasn't gotten better from that. In fact, I think if we're talking about Bryce Underwood specifically, he's probably regressed a little bit. I think it's a little scatterbrained right now. His internal clock's a little off.
The team has been fine, though. Like,
the team's been fine.
They've had some good wins. Like, the Nebraska win is a good win.
Is Nebraska ranked right now?
They are ranked. They just got ranked at 25, actually.
Okay.
Kind of funny.
They have a win over the 25th ranked team.
Right. And
that's their best win.
Weren't ranked at the time.
It's their best win, Kyle.
Right. But I guess
that's not good enough for a team that's chasing a playoff
Where
spot.
I was going with this, though, was like, at least there shouldn't be any panic, despite we're having this conversation, because you look at the rest of the schedule, and it's like, well, there's not even another Big Ten team you play that's as good as Nebraska the rest of the way. Maybe at Maryland the week before Ohio State, a little bit of a trap game.
Always is.
Right. I mean, of course, at Michigan State, that's going to be a tough one. But then you have Ohio State to end the year, so you still have a for sure road to making the college football playoff. Which the way that we're talking right now, you wouldn't think that was an opportunity, just because it seems like it's kind of Sherrone Moore demise. But I just think it is something to bring up, because I was watching the Michigan game with some friends who were pretty diehard Michigan fans. They were sharing concerns about Sherrone Moore, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's the first thing they go to when the team is losing. It's not a man Bryce or man Justice Haynes, this defense. No, it's Sherrone Moore.
It's like, why does this offense have no identity? Why can Bryce Underwood never get into a rhythm? It's because they can't decide what they want to do on offense. Is this a shotgun heavy team? Is this a run and play action team? I don't even think Sherrone Moore knows. I think he's just trying to, we can adapt and play any style of football. No, man, you got to pick a lane. Like, your team's not good enough to just be able to adapt to anything right now. Go be great at one thing, and it doesn't, like, I guess, I don't think any Michigan fan has an idea as to what that is supposed to be at this moment in time. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll get to some Mitt messages, get to the news in a little bit here. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on The Mitt. As always, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky and Siding Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired. Bresky's got you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Isaiah, let's play some word association.
I'm ready.
Spring.
Repairs.
Wind.
Roofing.
Rain.
Gutters.
Leak.
Buckley Satin Repair.
Who do you call?
Ghostbusters.
No, son. Who do you call?
Buckley Satin Repair.
That's right. Don't wait until spring. Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your roofing and gutter needs.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. It's October, so savings on all things spooky. $9.99 for an 100-count Halloween LED light string pack. And get those ghostly vibes with a giant glowing ghost inflatable, $99.99. Select Milwaukee Power Tools, buy one, get one free, including the brushless drill and impact driver kit. And get ahead of the cold. Ace brand winterizer, just $16.99.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text Clean Car to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of. It's hot! Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today. And you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt. Let's get to just a couple Mitt messages, and then we will get to the news here very shortly. But we're trying to get to the bottom of whether or not the Michigan fan base is a believer or not in Sherrone Moore. I personally have a lot of questions, and I think there's more questions than there are answers at this point. Let's see what the people think. 989-837-6125. I'm seeing getting a lot of one-word text. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4 different texts that just say simply no. No, Sherrone Moore is not the guy. Alex says, nope, can't wait for him to be gone. Mike says he is not the guy. He never is going to be the guy. He's just the fall guy. Time to spend money and get a winner. And Gary said, great recruiter, not so great of a head coach. Wow.
The fall guy, like Ryan Gosling. It's tough,
It's a movie reference.
It is a movie reference.
Movie that I have not seen.
I also haven't seen it anyways. It just came out. But, yeah, I mean, like this doesn't shock me. Because just the way that Michigan has kind of operated with Sherrone Moore as the head coach now the last year and a half, it just seems like it's still a lot of a we miss Harbaugh kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And Sherrone Moore is still attached to Harbaugh, and it almost feels like maybe moving on to the next era of head coach because Moore is still a part of that. It is kind of what the next direction is for Michigan. Once again, not saying it's like doomsday panic time for Michigan. That's not the case. But, like, at the end of the day, they followed up a national championship team with, you know, obviously you beat Ohio State, but a really disappointing year last year, and then you bring in the top quarterback prospect in the nation, and you're not ranked halfway through the season. So
it feels like Sherrone Moore is trying a little too hard to be a replica of
correct
Jim Harbaugh, rather than like maybe it'd be a good idea for Michigan to just clean slate. Here's a brand new coach with a brand new personality, a brand new identity. We don't necessarily need another Jim Harbaugh here, as great as he was, but it's going to get you in trouble if you hold on to that and just keep on trying to replicate it. You got to find someone who's just their own person.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a silver lining there, though. If you're truly thinking about moving on from Sherrone Moore, you got to consider whether or not you're going to be able to keep Bryce Underwood. So, like, Sherrone's the guy that got him there. I know we can talk about Portnoy and some of these other donors.
No,
but
you're right. I mean,
he wouldn't go play for Michigan if it wasn't for Sherrone Moore.
Penn State's going to lose all their transfers and guys in recruiting.
Yeah. It's something you got to consider if you're making decisions at Michigan. All right, let's hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's get into the news, Ben. We had a ton going on last night for a Monday. So let's dive into it. We had 2 Monday Night Football games yesterday.
Both fantastic.
Yes, both fantastic. Almost like maybe it would have been nice if one of these would have been on Sunday instead.
Oh.
That's right. I'm still complaining about it. Falcons-Bills was the first one, the opener. Falcons take it 24-14. They continue to be such a good primetime team. Bijan Robinson, 238 yards from scrimmage, just short of Rico Dowdle, by the way. Pretty crazy, though.
Bijan, I want to talk about Bijan a little bit in around the league, but that was one of those performances last night where you're going to have some overreactions to it, but it's rightfully so. That was one of the more stunning running back performances I think I've seen. I don't know, like, I'm not going to say a specific date, but that was very reminiscent of like the days where Christian McCaffrey used to just take over a game and eclipse. How many scrimmage yards did you say he had?
238.
Yeah, it's like that. There's very few players in the NFL that are capable of doing stuff like that, not just on a year-to-year basis, but on like a decade-to-decade basis, and it looks like Bijan is kind of that next guy to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, Bijan is ridiculous, and the Falcons their defense has really become a notable thing this season, something that you didn't really see coming this year. Obviously, when they draft 2 edge rushers, but, man, their defensive line is just against the run and against the pass.
Allen was under constant pressure last night.
I mean, Bills went 3 and out, had to have been 100 times. It was crazy.
Well, how many 3rd and 8s did they have?
Yeah.
Where Josh Allen had to kind of make plays for himself because drop back 2 seconds later, he's under duress.
Yeah, it was Bills have now lost 2 in a row. They're headed to a bye as well.
Let's hold the Bills-Atlanta thing because I want to do a little bit more on that game and around the league.
Okay. Next game, Bears, they get revenge on the Commanders from a season ago, win it 25-24 after a late costly fumble from Jaden Daniels in the rainy weather over there in D.C. And Money Moody, Jake Moody, back in the NFL, hits the game-winning field goal.
You see Caleb Williams' interview after the game? It's like, yeah, I didn't really know too much about Jake Moody, but he came onto the team earlier this week, seemed cool, and he won us the game. No, I thought Caleb Williams had a pretty good performance. It wasn't like mind-numbing by any means.
Yeah, this was more of a Commanders choked win.
Yeah,
than a Bears win.
Fumbled. I mean, they had to punt it.
3 turnovers.
What was killed them was the end of the game. They had to punt it. The Bears go 3 and out because they go backwards on first down. They're punting out of their own end zone, and that should have been the game. The Commanders had to pick up a couple first downs, and the clock would have been ran out. Jaden Daniels takes a snap. They were going to do it. Jaden Daniels takes a snap in the shotgun when it's raining, when all you had to do is run the clock out. Never gets control of it. He tries to hand it off, and the ball ends up on the ground. Jaden Daniels gets credited with the fumble. Bears jump on top of it. They go down and score, thanks to DeAndre Swift.
I was just about to say, man, DeAndre Swift, what a game for him as well. The running backs had big-time games this week.
Yeah, but this is one of those
forgotten
games
running
that
backs.
Swift has once a year, and then I'm sure he'll be terrible again next week, where the Bears fans are like banging their head into their coffee table watching the game. Like, why does this guy not just run north to south?
The big touchdown he had too was wild. I mean, that was a crazy touchdown that he had.
He's like you know how in basketball how you have a no yes guy. It's like no, don't take it, and then it goes in. That's DeAndre Swift when he gets the football. It's like what do you do? Oh, it actually works this time.
Okay, no, that's fair. I like that. But the Bears, I mean, we'll obviously talk about them more, but that's a big win for them coming off of a bye. Let's kick it to baseball because last night we'll start in the ALCS. Man, this hurts a little bit even more as Tigers fan because the Mariners have gone up 2-0 on the Blue Jays in a rout of Game 2, winning 10-3. Julio Rodriguez, Jorge Polanco, Josh Naylor all go deep in the big-time Seattle win. So they're up 2-0 heading back out west.
Yeah, I'm somewhat boycotting this series. I think it's just going to break my heart more and more to see this Mariners team go on and succeed. I know I said I was rooting for them just because they were a likable team, but the fact that the Tigers were one single away from getting it done against them, and now they're like winning, it's like...
Yeah, because I thought the Blue Jays were just going to be like pretty good.
So did I. I thought the Blue Jays were going to trounce them.
At least to start off the series, yeah. Yeah, this one...
Not the case.
This one hurts, man. It's tough, so we'll keep an eye on that series. Had the quad box going because we had another baseball game last night. Dodgers-Brewers, man, this one was a fun one. The Dodgers survive Game 1, win it 2-1 after the ninth inning comeback scare from the Brewers. Had the bases loaded with 2 outs. And Bryce Terang, he has a slider come in on him, but he dodges it. No, he could have been hit by it. Would have scored a game-tying run. But nonetheless, Trinan strikes him out next pitch, and they win it 2-1.
The Dodgers, man, they just feel a little inevitable right now. They just stay winning.
Yeah.
Staying on
Blake
top.
Snell went 8 innings scoreless, 10 Ks, 1 hit, no walks. Like truly an unreal pitching performance from Blake Snell yesterday for LA.
You know, according to ESPN's Jeff Passan, this game is going to have pretty big implications on a potential lockout in 2027. That's when the MLB collective bargaining agreement is up. And this is the definition of Moneyball versus the big-time spenders. You've got the Dodgers, who are at the top of the MLB's payroll, outside of the Mets, of course, spending all this money versus the Brewers, who dealt away their Cy Young pitcher, who put together all these young guys.
Got a top half team in payroll.
Right, and if the Dodgers just end up sweeping this team, and it's an uncompetitive series, which yesterday was competitive, don't get me wrong.
It was an awesome game.
But if this ends up being a sweep, all of a sudden there is going to be some sort of element of small market teams, everyone has their hands up saying, I don't know how we're supposed to compete, which could, in fact, put a salary cap into play, or at least, cause some sort of strikeout. Yeah, the salary floor is something.
You don't got to have a cap, but, man, there's got to be a floor.
It's what I care about a lot more than the salary cap. But if the Brewers somehow pull this thing out, I think the argument for needing a salary cap or a salary floor basically ends. Right?
I also don't know if you saw this in this game in the 4th inning. Brewers had an 8-6-2 double play. It's the first ever 8-6-2 double play in postseason history. It was an unreal play where Sal Frelick out in center field, he goes to catch a deep fly ball, bases were loaded, bounces off of his glove, then off the wall and back into his glove. So anyone in the infield may have thought this was caught, but it's not a catch. It's not a catch. And so the Dodgers were confused on the base pass. They get the double play going from second to third. And it was reviewed a ton of times, but the officials or the umpires got the call right on the first time. Dodgers were super mad about it, but it worked out, and obviously it still worked out for the Dodgers because they won.
Sometimes I see stuff in baseball. I'm like, why do more teams not try this? And I feel like that might be one of them. Where it's like, I'm at the warning track. Well, I'm just going to bounce this off my glove into the wall and try to get a double play.
I mean, that's just to attempt to do that on purpose is pretty unreal. Like it was obviously an accident.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be tough.
Or it was just genius baseball.
It almost
Chestnut
was.
checkers.
If they would have won, then potentially. Okay, let's do 2 more things here because these are both important. First off, yesterday we did get the confirmation Brian Branch has been suspended 1 game by the NFL after the post-game skirmish with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
Not good.
Lot of penalties these days racking up for Brian Branch. I think I got the number here in my notes. Brian Branch in total has been fined $129,989 by the NFL. That is 2.1% of his career earnings, right back to the the league.
That's nothing.
I can't imagine having $130,000, let alone being fined $130,000.
Throwing it away. Yeah, exactly. No Brian Branch against the Bucs next week on Monday Night Football.
Well, he's appealing, but I have a really hard time envisioning that going through.
I don't know how it would get appealed. And then finally has happened, Ben. The Titans have fired Brian Callahan, the first coach to be fired so far in this NFL season. Senior offensive assistant Mike McCoy will serve as the interim head coach. He coached the San Diego Chargers in the mid-2010s before what's his face was there, Brandon Staley.
Jeez.
So yeah, that is that he's the first one to go. Mike McDaniel, they going to fire him now just so they weren't going to be the first team, or what's up with that?
I don't know. They've shown a little bit of fight in the last couple of weeks.
Good. He's earned a couple extra weeks for sure.
The Callahan and the Titans can hardly cross the 50-yard line without throwing a celebration. That is a putrid offense, and
Geno Smith tried letting them win. He really tried giving the Titans back-to-back wins.
Couldn't
not
hang.
Even close.
Could not hang.
All right, that's it.
989-837-6125. Let's do the Tuesday Tower when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. The Greater Midland Community Center is your hub for health, wellness, and fun right here in the heart of Midland. From fitness classes and open gym to swimming, youth sports, and family activities, there's something for everyone. Affordable memberships, expert staff, and a welcoming space for all ages and abilities. If you're hosting an event, ask for their rental space, full service and support. Stay active, stay connected, all under one roof. That's Greater Midland Community Center. Learn more or sign up at greatermidland.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
I'm here with Matt Smith with Modern Realty. All right, Matt, forecast 2025 for us.
Well, in 2025, I believe you're going to see a much more balanced market. We've been in a seller's market for a number of years. We're still not busting at the seams with inventory, but we are seeing the market start to balance out a little bit. That means it's still a really good time to get great value out of your home. But for the buyers out there, it also means that your path to home ownership should be a little bit easier.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
At Scott Family Dental, we treat every patient like family because it's in our name. Our office culture is built on trust, comfort, and care, just like you'd want for your own loved ones. We don't sign contracts with insurance companies, so we can offer the highest quality dental care without compromise. That means your treatment is based on what's best for you, not an insurance plan. Scott Family Dental, compassionate care, lasting smiles.
Visit scottfamdental.com to schedule today.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Into the end zone.
The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
The Spartans look for their first Big Ten win of 2025. MSU is Bloomington bound, facing Indiana. Kickoff Saturday at 3:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want.
Do it.
100.9 The Mitt.
You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think we're nearing the end of the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State. I think Scott Harris trading for a half dozen pitchers at the trade deadline is officially a failure considering how the season ended. I think the Detroit Lions are going to give the Packers an astronomical revenge whooping on Thanksgiving later this year. And I think you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon, presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, it's Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday. It is the top 10 teams in the NFL via a tower. The Tuesday Tower, some even call it. So without further ado, let's throw the graphic up on the screen. We'll go through it. A lot of turnover once again. You know, I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is back-to-back weeks where it's been really difficult to do this. Honorable mention goes to Denver. But if you're going to be involved in what is the ugliest game of the year, a game in which you only scored 13 points, I don't think you can be. You just got to get kicked out of the pyramid for a week. All right, you're on leave for a little bit, Denver. You're welcome back at any point. I know that defense you got and Nick Bonito, fantastic. Lead the league in sacks, both him as a player and as a team by a handsome amount. But you got to score more than 13 points, and you can't be involved in the ugliest game in the NFL.
They don't get like a slight pass for it being the London game.
No, they can earn their way back into this. Still have opportunities too, but there's just some teams that are playing better than them right now. And I'd like to welcome the Atlanta Falcons and the New England Patriots into the Tuesday Tower, both making their debut in the fourth and final tier, the fourth level of the pyramid called Fun Dark Horse Teams Turning Heads, which features the Atlanta Falcons, the Los Angeles Rams, the Seattle Seahawks, and the New England Patriots. I think I'd also like to welcome Seattle to the group because I don't think Seattle has been involved in the Tuesday Tower yet at all this year either. So 3 new teams making their debut this week. Sorry to Denver. Sorry to Washington. You guys are no longer here.
Fair. I'm trying to think. If Washington wins last night, are they still in it?
Yeah, I think it came down to Washington or Atlanta.
Yeah,
those were
Atlanta's win over Buffalo. Got to get them in here, yeah.
Yeah. But if Washington would have won that, I don't think it would have been enough to, I think Atlanta would have been the odd team out.
Okay.
Got to win more than one game. Also, goodbye to the Jaguars. That was fun while it lasted. They go from
out on the Jags in general.
They go from tier 3 to not in the pyramid. I mean, what team would you have them in over in this fourth and final tier? Falcons, Rams, Seahawks, Patriots?
Look, man,
I don't think they're better than any of those teams.
The Patriots, I got to give them a couple more weeks.
Oh, they're going to get there.
Like just because their upcoming schedule, I think I would have waited a week or two to put them on.
See, me, I like being early to things.
Right. I mean, they played the Saints and didn't play great, but
Drake May played great. It's tough to run on this Patriots team, one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Hey, if you're saying they're going to be on there in 3 weeks, I'm just going to put them on there now and say, see, I was here the whole time.
Sure.
I think this Patriots team is lights out. They can stop the run. They've got an awesome quarterback. You have those two things, you're probably going to be a successful team in the NFL. Again, Denver could retake their spot and kick the Patriots out by next week. But I had to punish Denver for making me sit through that 3 hours of hell. That was also very fun. Seattle making their debut because, wow, they just keep putting up points. Their defense is playing lights out. That secondary is really fun. I really like this Mike McDonald-led team. Sam Darnold's playing way better than I think I anticipated and most people anticipated him playing in Seattle. And it helps that JSN now looks like one of the 3 to 4 to 5 best receivers in the NFL, at least for this season.
Yeah, I have no complaints about Seattle being on here. They absolutely deserve to be here.
The Rams, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to have a really hard time quitting the Rams at any point this season. I know they're down Puka. That's part of the reason they come down a tier. But even with Devontae Adams being the lone wide receiver, alpha dude out there, I think this team's still going to be able to move the ball, put up points. Defense has been lights out as well. And Atlanta, after that dominant win where their pass rush looked awesome, Michael Penix was getting the ball in the hands of not one but two really special playmakers, and Drake London and Bijan Robinson, they're making their debut on this list as well. Could be short-lived because this team doesn't play very well on the road. By the way, that "We Ready" chant that the Atlanta crowd was doing, you catch that?
We ready.
I never heard that before. I don't know if that's
you
an
never heard "We
no,
Ready"?
No. I've heard that, but not in an NFL game before.
No, yeah, you're right. I guess
that
I
was
haven't either.
awesome.
Yeah, "We Ready" is the best, dude.
Third tier called Lost, but It's Okay. The Lions, the Eagles, and the Bills. Any comments?
Seems kind of fitting. You know, I mean, all of these teams have out of nowhere become 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the Bills and Eagles, who were undefeated and have lost 2 straight. Which is it okay? Like, Bills and Lions, I agree, lost, but it's okay. You'll figure it out. The Bills, they have the bye. You had a tough game on the road against a really tough Atlanta team. And obviously the Lions, you know, you're so injured and lost to the Chiefs. Is it okay for the Eagles, though? Like, is it okay?
I was going to say, if of those 3 teams, if there's one I'm the most worried about, it's Philly.
Of course it is. I mean,
their
instead
offense
of lost,
seems to
but
have
it's
some
okay,
problems.
It almost should be like lost, but it's not going to happen again, right? With like a huge question mark after it. I don't know. I think you're not going to take them down to the next tier. I don't think yet, after being the top team on the tower for all of the season up until this point.
Right.
So I don't disagree, but I almost feel like the Bills and Lions are in a different spot than Philly is currently.
Atlanta,
a lot of panic in Philly.
Atlanta and New England both below Buffalo, even though 2 head-to-head wins against them
that's
the
true,
last
man.
couple weeks.
That's kind of messed up. You're right.
Again, this isn't a standings.
Power ranking, essentially, though.
This is who I feel the most comfortable with, talking about as contenders. The second tier is just called Stay Winning, and the 2 teams in that are Tampa Bay and the Indianapolis Colts because, well, they just stay winning right now. You stay winning, you get brought up the pyramid. Now, do I actually think the Bills, the Lions, or the Eagles are worse than the Colts? No, but every single number, every single metric, the eye test too.
They still don't punt.
They just dominate football games. So I don't know how I can have them anything lower than this at this point.
And once again, you still look at their lone loss of the season, and it was a fluky loss to a really good Rams team, like a game they should have won.
Yep. Tampa Bay on this as well because, well, they just stay winning. And then this one might be pretty controversial. Back at the top of the pyramid, I have this tier as back from vacation. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, I'm aware they're 3-3. But does anyone have a better idea, a better suggestion as to who to put at the top? Because I'm all ears, man. If you got a better idea as to who to put at the top, who should be the best team in the NFL in terms of the power rankings, go ahead and tell me. I think it's Kansas City. I think they're back. You got a better? Is it Buffalo? 2 straight losses?
No,
is it the Eagles? 2 straight losses?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I just find it hard to believe like the team that is favored to win the NFC and the Green Bay Packers isn't on this list, and the team with the best record in the AFC, the Pittsburgh Steelers, are not on here. I mean,
it's because I don't believe in either of those teams in the slightest.
Okay.
Pittsburgh's phony.
Pittsburgh's just going to win again on Thursday and be 5-1, but they won't be on here.
Who would you take off for Pittsburgh? Who do you think Pittsburgh's actually better than? New England. No way.
Dude loves Drake May.
Drake, they have a better quarterback and they have a better defense. Is that not true? Do they not have better wins? If this was a college football thing, who was the best win? New England over the Steelers. Who's the Steelers' best win? Seattle?
Yeah, a team that you have on here.
Sure, but I have the Bills as a higher tier, and the Patriots have a win over them. The Packers. How about you don't lose to the Browns? It's the only win the Browns have this season. 989-837-6125. That's the Tuesday Tower. We'll get to the Spartans when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Do we have any spray paint?
Why?
I need lots of paint. I'm going to paint the house.
I don't think so.
But it looks bad.
Well, you can't spray paint the house.
And then let's call Bresky Siding and Building Repair. They can do it.
Is your siding looking faded, worn out, or just in need of an update? Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your siding, roofing, and gutter needs.
Hey Midland, join the Silver Sneakers and Renew Active programs at the Midland Community Center, where fitness for seniors is fun and free. With Silver Sneakers and Renew Active, seniors 65 and older enjoy access to Greater Midland Community Center, North Family Center, and Coleman Family Center, all at no extra cost with eligible Medicare Advantage plans. Dive into all group fitness classes, exclusive Silver Sneakers classes, and our Greater Midland Walking Club. Get moving with Silver Sneakers and Renew Active at the Midland Community Center.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think we're nearing the end of the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State. I think Scott Harris trading for a half dozen pitchers at the trade deadline is officially a failure considering how the season ended. I think the Detroit Lions are going to give the Packers an astronomical revenge whooping on Thanksgiving later this year. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon, presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
Here are 5 more good reasons for multi-sport participation. Multi-sport athletes are more coachable. They have higher athletic ceilings. They become better talent in the long run. They have higher sports IQs. Their sports skills transfer, and they are better teammates. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. All right, we talked about Sherrone Moore to open up the show. Now I think it's time to pivot to Jonathan Smith, who, they've hit a new rock bottom over in East Lansing, to say the least. They've hit a new rock bottom because they lost to UCLA, and they didn't just lose, they got their butts kicked in. Bad. Right? There was already a lot of smoke, whether or not Jonathan Smith should still be employed for the Spartans, whether or not they want to climb out of this pitiful hole that they have fallen into, which is the worst team in the Big Ten. Right? You got to fix that before the public image of Michigan State starts going way downwards. Look, because now it's been, 4 straight seasons of mediocre football. It's a whole class of high schoolers that have never seen Michigan State football have a successful program. You got to turn that around rather fastly if you want to start landing these recruits and building this program back up. Otherwise, you're going to sink down to the bottom and never get yourself back up. Now, there's a reason that he hasn't been fired quite yet, and there's a reason that this decision's going to be a little bit harder than just he's not a good coach. It's the buyout. The buyout is outrageous. Jonathan Smith's contract is set up to where if they want to buy him out, if they did it today, for the next 62 months, they would owe Jonathan Smith $509,000 every month until January of 2031. 6 years they'd have to pay him, which would add up to $31 million by the end of it. That's just the buyout. His salary is about $7 million a year, which is the exact same as Marcus Freeman, who's running a successful Notre Dame program, who just got this team to a national championship bid a season ago. Jonathan Smith was overpaid, and that is very clear. That is very evident. I wanted this thing to work out. I think this is a good guy. He kept Marsh, kept Aiden Childs, kept him from hitting the portal, and it looked like he was actually growing something in Michigan State. They've regressed, right? This defense is god-awful. The offensive line can't protect Aiden Childs for more than half a second, let alone 3. He's under constant pressure. It causes him to make mistakes. I'm not trying to be an Aiden Childs defender because he makes a couple boneheaded throws every single game that are just inexcusable. But, man, he is under constant duress the entirety of the game. Look what happened to UCLA when they fired that inaudible weirdo, Deshaun Foster. They instantly rip off 2 wins. One against Penn State and one against Michigan State on the road. Michigan State, if they want to climb out of irrelevancy, needs to get this done sooner rather than later. Because if they wait and wait and wait, there's going to be a whole generation of kids playing football in high school that have never watched a successful Michigan State program and are going to ask themselves, why on earth would I go to Michigan State? They've got awesome NIL stuff. They've got, and Jay Batt's going to make that even better, their new athletic director. They've got awesome facilities, more so than Indiana, more so than Illinois, more so than UCLA. Yet, all these teams are outperforming them in the Big Ten. I don't think it's an overstatement to say Michigan State is the worst team in the Big Ten because right now I have a hard time picking them to win another conference game the rest of the season. So what is Michigan State going to do? Jonathan Smith here to stay? Jonathan Smith here to go? You got to make a decision rather quickly.
Yeah, I mean, to say they've regressed is, I think, even an understatement. This is a team that is going to go into the final week of October without a win in the conference. You know, that's terrible. They're obviously going to get smacked by Indiana this week. You look forward, yeah, there's maybe a couple games on the schedule that you think maybe they can sneak out a win, but that's not the point of the conversation. Like, the fact that even is, you're talking about that is unreal. To me, the biggest, this is something I saw on social media this weekend that was the biggest eye-opener to this current state of the program. Everyone who follows Michigan State knows of Brandon Dawson, right? You remember Brandon Dawson. Played at MSU, really good basketball player, played in the NBA for a few years in the early 2010s. He tweets on a picture that Nick Marsh's mother posted on Twitter.
Oh, God.
A picture of Nick Marsh, and it just said, like, stay strong, son, like something like that. And it was a picture of Nick Marsh. He comments on that tweet and tells her that Nick Marsh needs to transfer and leave Michigan State. He went to MSU. He still reps MSU. Like, he still supports Michigan State, goes back to the university. Like, he's all about MSU, former basketball player there. Telling Nick Marsh's mom via social media publicly that her son needs to transfer. I mean, are we serious?
What's that say about the program, man?
What does that say about the current state of the program? That is not something that Michigan State should ever have to deal with. This is the part that frustrates me so much is why is Michigan State not acting like, but just it feels like they're in a different tier than all these other programs. Teams like Indiana and Illinois even, who have now come back into relevancy. Like, these other teams that have just taken so quick to figure things out and become relevant in college football. Michigan State is not some program that is a poverty program. They're not a Northwestern. They're not a Minnesota. They're not these other bottom tier of Purdue, Big Ten teams. But why are they grouping themselves with them? They had a ton of success in the 21st century, man. even 10 years ago, like even 5 years ago. Like, it took them a while. You know, D'Antonio, he overstayed probably, and it took them some years to figure things out there. But, man, the whether it's the ghost of Mel Tucker or whatever it is that's still haunting this program, clearly things need to be changed. And, unfortunately, you talk about that buyout number with Jonathan Smith, and it makes it hard to think it actually is going to happen. Does it need to happen? 100%. I think all the Michigan State alumni know it, and that was made evident via social media.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to keep wanting to increase this NIL and get donor money, you're going to have to do exactly what the alumni base wants, what the fan base wants, what the donors want.
That's why they fired Alan Haller and brought in Jay Batt.
I have a really hard time. Anyone that's donating real money to MSU is in favor of keeping this guy around at this point. It's a shame. I wanted this to work out. I really did. I thought it would be dumb to do it prematurely, but for anyone out there who is yelling from the top of the mountain that this should have been done a long time ago, you were right.
Yeah.
You were totally right. There is supposed to be about $200 million worth of buyouts by the end of the season for college football coaches. James Franklin, one of them. Luke Fickell, soon to be one of them at Wisconsin, I'd imagine, at some point.
Potentially Jonathan Smith.
Jonathan Smith's going to contribute to that a ton. Billy Napier, I'd imagine, is gone at some point.
Really?
Probably, right?
I mean, they had a big win against Texas.
That's what they do every year. They disappoint, but then they put together a few wins at the end of the season, and it's like, oh, Florida's back. No, they're not. This is an irresponsible contract that Michigan State gave this man. You know he's making $1 million more per season than Sherrone Moore is? He's making more than Sherrone Moore. And I'm not even trying to tell you Sherrone Moore's this great coach, but what the hell has Jonathan Smith done to make more than Sherrone Moore?
That's the issue, man. I want to sit here and make fun of Sherrone Moore as much as I can, but then you look down the road at Michigan State's coach, and you're like, well, I can't say anything there.
Both of these coaches, man.
If this buyout wasn't even a factor here, like let's just say it was not clearly as crazy of a contract, had like 2 years left or something, he'd have been fired after the UCLA game. That was an instant firing after that game. I mean, what an embarrassment. I don't care that UCLA is caught lightning in a bottle after beating Penn State. I really don't. You're 10-point favorites nearly on homecoming against a team that fired their entire coaching staff.
Who's traveling across the country to play you at noon, which is 9 a.m. their time.
That is just inexcusable, that loss, and the way you lost as well.
Yeah, it wasn't just a loss.
Yeah, and look, we obviously know that what comes with firing Jonathan Smith, you're going to lose Nick Marsh, you're going to lose a lot of these other guys that you have committed to you that are, you know, when you brought Jonathan Smith in, it was a long-term play. Like, this is still a younger Michigan State team.
It's time to tear this thing down to the studs.
You're going to lose Nick Marsh no matter what. You know, that guy deserves to go play somewhere else where he's going to get his respectable draft evaluation because he's that good. So it's super frustrating. This is not what Michigan State football is, man. Like this is we were talking about this pre-show.
Here's the sad thing, Kyle. This is what Michigan State football is. It's what it's been for a whole recruiting cycle.
Yeah, you're right. But like what I was going to say is you and I talked about this pre-show. Like there's no juice for the Michigan State game. Unless it's like maybe that's the game where Jonathan Smith can save his job.
I think we're beyond that. I really do. Do you think they're winning this weekend?
Of course not. They're 30-point underdogs.
Exactly. Is that what it's going to take?
In a conference football game, they are 30-point underdogs to the Indiana Hoosiers.
Who have a second-year head coach.
Is this the real world that I'm living in 2025? It's unreal. No, Nick Marsh is not going to Michigan, by the way. I've already seen that 1,000 times ever since this has been going down.
Ian let us know in the YouTube chat
sure
that Nick Marsh is
but whatever.
Yeah, he's going to do the exact same thing. Well, I guess it could be the ACC.
Wait, I want to get drafted as a wide receiver. Let me go to Michigan. Yeah. It's a great idea.
He could end up in the ACC. That's what Coleman ended up doing.
Yeah, he
could go down to Florida State.
Yeah, I mean just anywhere where it's going to be anywhere else, man.
Just go play with a good quarterback. He'll get drafted at some point.
Absolutely.
989-837-6125. So we both want Jonathan Smith gone, but who's going to replace him if that ends up happening? Well, how about the guy that plays a few states over or coaches a few states over or at least used to coach a few states over? You know who I'm talking about. 989-837-6125. 6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. As always, the 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Corning, a global leader in material science right here in Midland. From the glass in your smartphone to innovations that power clean energy and advanced medicine, Corning is shaping the future. But it's not just about the tech, it's about the people. Corning invests in the community, supports local schools, and creates opportunities that are close to home. With a legacy of innovation and commitment to what's next, Corning is proud to call Midland a part of its story. Corning, creating life-changing innovations, one breakthrough at a time.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Is the air in your home dry? Are allergies bothering you? Tired of itchy skin and static everywhere? We have your answer. Answer Heating and Cooling can install a whole home humidifier that keeps your air balanced, your skin comfortable, and your family breathing easier all winter long. Say goodbye to static shocks and hello to comfort. Call Answer Heating and Cooling today or visit AnswerSOS.com. Answer Heating and Cooling, the home of simply outstanding service.
The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
The Spartans look for their first Big Ten win of 2025. MSU is Bloomington bound, facing Indiana. Kickoff Saturday at 3:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want.
Do it.
100.9 The Mitt.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Myth is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Myth and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Myth.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
All right, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get right to it. Do you think that James Franklin, the man who just got fired from Penn State, would be a good fit for Michigan State Spartans?
Duh, 3 letters, D-U-H. I mean, if anyone disagrees with this, you are truly, you need to rethink your thoughts, because I understand there's a stigma that comes with James Franklin, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy can't win big games. At least he's into big games. At least they are big games, because what game ever could Michigan State have that we're like, that's a big game? None of them. State will not play in another big game.
Nope.
At least James Franklin and Penn State got themselves, like, if your worst problem is that you can't win against top 5 teams in the country, there's much worse problems to have.
Yeah, like
winning
going
a
above
game
500
in the conference. You know, like winning against the team that's the worst in Power 4. That seems like an issue, a pretty alarming one. If your biggest issue is that you go 9-3 or 10-2 every year and you can't beat teams in the top 5, I'd love to get to that point. I would absolutely love to get to that point. If any Michigan State fan disagrees with this, I truly would be shocked.
James Franklin is 128-58 at Penn State. Michigan State is 30-32 in the last 5.5 years. I would be signing up for that in a heartbeat.
Of course you would.
If I'm a Michigan State fan, I would love to have James Franklin. And let's be honest, James Franklin's not going to an SEC school. Not any real meaningful one.
Well, yeah, just what SEC school even is there that's going to need a coach,
Also,
Florida, potentially.
Why would any SEC coach want to sign up for this guy? Right,
True,
you have to be able to win the top 5 games.
All they do is play big games. Yeah, you're right. It's a good point.
Michigan State, you're starting from the bottom.
And now you're here.
You're starting from scratch. And you're going to have to build this thing back up. The nice part about it is you've got an AD in J Bat who's going to make sure you're set up to succeed. You've got the NIL. You've got the facilities and the stadium, and you've got, some lore to it. But you have to fire Jonathan Smith first. And if they do that, I think James Franklin should be the very first person that they call. I don't care about the stigma. Bring him in. It's better than not ever playing in a big football game again.
Like, it's a clear upgrade. That's like, I understand we can sit here and have all these, I was the same guy that was laughing when James Franklin lost to UCLA, man. Like, I thought it was hilarious. I was rooting against him in the Oregon game. Like, he's a fun guy to root against because he's also just kind of a loser. Like, any video you see him out in the wild, like, he is kind of just like a salty man that's just kind of just upset all the time,
Yeah, he's a loser.
Yeah,
call it as it is.
Yeah, he's just like a loser. So if that's why you don't want to hire him, then sure, maybe that's a little bit of a different story. But just from the coaching perspective, man, he's a clear upgrade. You take a guy named John Smith, who's the most boring guy in the world, out of your head coach. Sure, he's a loser. At least he's got a little bit of personality. At least he's got a little bit of something behind him. And he wins games. Like, he brings in a ton of recruits every year. They can't beat Ohio State. Neither can MSU. Anybody want to tell me the last time MSU beat Ohio State? Exactly. 2014, probably. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? We can sit here and talk about that he doesn't win big games. MSU hasn't won a big game in years, man. The fact that he gets to even play in big games is saying something in general. Obviously, it's going to take some time to get to that point, but still, I'm all in on this. I think it's semi-realistic as well. The issue is
you got to fire Smith.
You got to fire Smith first, and that clearly hasn't happened yet. And I don't know when it's going to happen because this week was kind of perfect for it. Maybe it is an off-season thing just because of the buyout that's there. Like, maybe it truly is just a wait till the season's over type of thing. Potentially, J-Bat wants to do a full evaluation. I could see it. But I don't know. We'll find out.
By the way, the last time Michigan State beat Ohio State was 2015 in Columbus.
15, yes.
17
I remember that was the game where I'm forgetting the kicker's name, where he did this running down the field like with the windmill. Yeah, exactly. That was good.
A whole decade. We got a text coming in that says, "Do not pay Jonathan Smith to leave. I'm sick of these guys leaving with millions of dollars to go elsewhere. Make him stay and suffer through the booze that he deserves." Yeah, no, I'm out on that. I'm out on Michigan State just losing every game with a bad head coach who's checked out. Sorry, I'd rather win games. And I think Jonathan Smith being gone is the best way to do that. James Franklin being in would be the best way to do that as well. And look, there's probably going to be a lot of programs that come calling about James Franklin. I honestly think that this Michigan State thing is realistic and somewhat. Look, you're starting from the bottom. You're starting from scratch. I get it. You're not taking over something that has potential. But if you bring in James Franklin, I think you have a chance to keep Childs and Marsh. It's not likely, but it gives you a better chance to keep those guys than anything else. He's going to bring in a whole new staff. He's shown that he can win. Obviously, this year didn't go as planned for Penn State, but that would be the better coach than Michigan State has had in a long time. Long time. He wins 3 of every 2 games, or 2 of every 3 games that he played, that he coached for Penn State. Michigan State, they're a 500 team the last 5 years.
And it's just, it would bring hopefully, some sort of quick turnaround as well. right?
That's what you'd hope for, like Signetti turnaround.
It doesn't seem like it would be something that's going to take James Franklin 5 years to figure out, because that's kind of what it seems like it is with Jonathan Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to maybe give Jonathan Smith a little bit of slack, because we are in an era now of college football where if you don't turn it around right away, you're the worst coach in the conference. But that is kind of just the truth.
It's exactly what happened to Jonathan Smith.
It's exactly what's happening. Like, he brought in a true freshman quarterback from Oregon State that never played and gave him the keys and didn't surround him with the right pieces. And maybe he was going to do that down the line, or maybe there's some younger guys on that offensive line that he feels are going to be big in a couple of years. The issue is, couple of years is a phrase that can't be used anymore in college football.
Nope.
It's what's ever going on right now. And as unfortunate as for him, there's a reason why Michigan State made the switch at athletic director. And we had called this out the second that this happened, you know? That's what it is now. It's all about football. Jay Bad is all about football. Jonathan Smith clearly is not the answer for Michigan State, and I think we're going to find out who the next guy is. I think there's a lot of other good candidates as well. I've honestly been doing a lot of deep diving on this, surprisingly, because they still haven't fired the guy.
Yeah, your coach is still employed.
Yeah, there's a lot of good options, I believe, but James Franklin is for sure 1A, S tier in his own.
989-837-6125. Michigan State fans, would you be open to Jonathan Smith being departed and James Franklin entering the conversation and becoming the next head coach despite all the stigma about him? 989-837-6125. We'll get to that. Take a trip around the league. When we come back, Higher Standard Automotive. I mean, the name says it all. Honest, reliable auto repair done the right way the first time. Locally owned and operated, serving Midland with expert service and small-town integrity. From oil changes and brake jobs to diagnostics and major repairs, they handle it all with precision and care. ASE-certified techs, fair pricing, and a commitment to doing things the right way, because your car deserves better than just good enough. Drive with confidence. Choose Higher Standard Automotive. This is the Ben Bosscher Show here on the Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Max Stecker from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program. Visit 1009themitt.com.
Ugh, the outside of my house needs a total makeover. The siding is faded, the gutters are falling off, and the roof is leaking.
What is that falling from the sky?
Super Bresky!
Who are you?
Super Bresky!
Excuse me?
I'm here to tell you, Bresky Siding and Building Repair can fix your house in no time. All you have to do is call my dad, and your house will look as good as new.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
Fall is for planting, and Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center is making it the best time of year to grow. For a limited time, enjoy 40% off select trees, shrubs, and perennials. That's pretty much their entire plant inventory. So whether you're adding curb appeal, refreshing your garden, or planting for the future, they've got the quality, selection, and savings you've been waiting for. Don't miss the fall planting sale at Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, where your garden begins to grow. Maple Hill Nursery and Garden Center, growing with you this fall.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got it. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Rivalry renewed. The 6-1 Freeland Falcons and the 6-1 Frankenmuth Eagles. The winner takes the Tri-Valley Conference Red. Freeland, Frankenmuth. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 on Friday night.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Myth.
(989-837-6125). Welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mid. I think it's time to take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle. I want to do a little game called Overreaction or Proper Reaction after Week 6.
Okay.
A good one. All right, the first one I have written down. Overreaction or underreaction? Bijan Robinson now has the crown for the best running back in the NFL. Last year it was Saquon. The year before it was CMC. The year before that it was Derrick Henry. Right now Bijan's third in rushing yards, but he's first in scrimmage yards. Second in missed tackles, only behind Ashton Genty. Obviously Jonathan Taylor's having this crazy year as well, but last night you watch Bijan and it's like, what can't this guy do? Bringing him down feels near impossible. Overreaction or underreaction? He's the new crown holder for best running back in the NFL.
I think it's underreaction because now is the best running back in the NFL. I kind of felt this way like 2 weeks ago, honestly, like early in this season. It was very clear early on that Saquon just didn't have the same juice this year as he had last season. That was made evident right away, so I took him out of the picture. And then you said it came down to like Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, and I obviously got to throw Gibbs in that conversation.
Yeah, and Gibbs has been slightly disappointing.
Sure. McCaffrey's still there, but obviously just the electricity that Bijan Robinson brings out of the backfield, I think gives him the cake as best running back in the league.
Can't bring him down.
No.
Like, tackling him one-on-one in space, it's just not happening.
And he brings the combination of doing it in both the run game and the pass game. He can bounce outside the tackles, run it between. Like, he really is an unreal all-around back.
The contact balance, the elusiveness, it's all there with Bijan.
Yeah, I'd go underreaction.
So, or proper reaction.
Or yeah.
All right, it's been declared. Bijan Robinson, best running back in the NFL. How about this one? Another Falcons-related one after last night. Overreaction or proper reaction? The Falcons are a playoff team thanks to the 2025 draft class. Remember, we dogged on them because they take an edge rusher, Jalen Walker, at 15th out of Georgia, and then they trade back into the first round to take another edge rusher, James Pierce, out of Tennessee. So they're trading away future first to be able to jump back in and take a guy at the same position. This was a team that was second last in sacks last season. They did not get after the quarterback. And right now, after last night, sacking Josh Allen 4 times and him constantly being under pressure, they're up to 14 sacks on the season, which is just outside of the top 10. They also bottled up James Cook for the most part last night. This Falcons pass rush is kind of legit, and I think it's going to be one of the bigger reasons that this could be a playoff team when it's all said and done. So, overreaction, proper reaction. Falcons are a playoff team thanks to that 2025 draft class.
And we're doubling up on Falcons takes here. I hate to gas them up like this, but I do think this team is a playoff team, yes. At some point, the Tampa Bay juice has to start to fall apart a little bit, and that's kind of why I would say yes to this Falcons one. Falcons play much better at home than they do on the road. They still is a team that lost 30-0 to Carolina, but they've clearly bounced back pretty well from that game with a couple of big wins against Washington and now last night against Buffalo. So they're now minus 110 to make the playoffs. So Vegas would agree with this take that this is a proper reaction. And this is a team that I picked in the division at the beginning of the year. So I'm obviously going to still have my confidence level in them. Yes, I think this team is a playoff team. Proper reaction.
Between, like they could have been an awesome offense with Bijan and Drake London, who had a great game yesterday. Kyle Pitts looks somewhat revived. Still not worth the 4th overall pick, but somewhat revived. And Penix has been all right. I still don't think they'd be a playoff team without this pass rush that they've stumbled into.
It is the defense that is really, and Raheem Morris, like a really big shout out to him because that was kind of the conversation with him. He's this defensive-minded coach that's coming in with an offensive center team, and that has been clearly flipped around. So I like it.
I don't know if I'd say their defense is their identity, but it's allowing them to succeed.
Yeah, it's clearly why they're good. Yeah.
Right. All right. Overreaction or proper reaction? Drake May is the best quarterback from the 2024 draft class. Daniels, 2 uncharacteristic, costly turnovers yesterday. The Commanders are 2-2 this year in games that Jaden Daniels plays. Caleb Williams, he looked good yesterday. I think he still has a long way to go, but their schedule's favorable. There's been more bad than good with Caleb. Penix was really impressive yesterday, but if you ever get shut out by Carolina, I don't think you're eligible to be the best quarterback from your draft class, especially when you lose 30-0. Bo Nix, again, disqualified because of the monstrosity he was a part of on Sunday.
Disqualified, just doesn't even get a chance.
No. Can't be involved in a game like that and have a chance. And then you have Drake May, who's 5th in yards this season. Double-digit touchdowns. 2nd in completion percentage, only behind Jared Goff. 4th in passer rating. 1st in passer rating with attempts thrown 20-plus yards down the field. He's ran for 13 first downs and 2 touchdowns. And the team is 4-2 and in first place in the AFC South. I think Drake May is the best quarterback from this draft class.
AFC East. Yeah.
AFC East.
Overreaction. I'm not taking the crown away from Jaden Daniels yet. I mean, the guy went to the NFC Championship game as a rookie. And outplayed Jared Goff and the best team in the NFC in a playoff game at their place as a rookie. I'm not just going to take that crown away from him this soon. He's been banged up this season, missed a couple games. I still am.
Drake May beat Josh Allen.
So?
Beat him head-to-head, straight up. Beat Josh Allen.
Oh, you know who also did? Michael Penix last night. Are we giving him the crown over Drake May because of it?
Absolutely not.
Give me Jaden Daniels still. May's been great. I'm not discounting Drake May. He's been awesome this year. But I'm not doing that this soon.
Every time he throws the ball down the field, I feel like it's going to be a touchdown. He just lets it rip.
Yep. Still lost to the Steelers and Raiders, though.
Inexcusable.
2 teams you think suck. So.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's just getting his feet wet,
Yeah.
It's like a baby deer trying to walk. It's like, oh, there's going to be you're going to fall over a couple times right after you're born. And he was reborn again because everything that happened last year, I think you can throw out the window a little bit because probably the most inept coach in the NFL last year in Gerard Mayo. God, what an era that's going to get just swept under the rug and no one's going to talk about ever again. It's like, yeah, remember when the Patriots hired
coach upgrade ever?
Yeah, probably.
Mayo to Vrabel?
I would hope so. All right, let's do another one. A team that was not in my Tuesday Tower, the Green Bay Packers. Overreaction or proper reaction? It's okay to write off the Packers. Since week 2, they've lost to the Browns. It's the Browns' only win of the season. They tied with the Cowboys and allowed them to score 40, and Matt LaFleur announced to the entire world that he's a loser. And they were in a 1-score game with the Bengals with 2 minutes to go. Not all that impressive since those first 2 weeks when everyone crowned them the best team in the NFL. All the concerns I had about them preseason are now looking true. Right. They don't have alphas on offense. It's a bunch of good receivers. None of them are great. Jordan Love is holding them back.
Yeah. When you say right off the Packers, like can you give me a little bit more explanation on that? Like
they're not going to the
Super
Bowl. They're not going to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And that's not really fair because I'm more likely to be right than I am wrong on that. Right. But like I just don't think they're a serious Super Bowl contender.
Like they're not a contender.
Yeah.
The current favorite to win the NFC.
Yeah. I would zag on that.
I tend to trust Vegas a little bit. They seem to know ball a little bit.
You don't trust me?
I'm not saying that. I don't know. I mean, like, yes, I agree that the Packers are not nearly as good as maybe once thought they were. But I'm not going to write them off. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, this team's done for. I mean, every team goes through some lulls. I think this is still a team that has some pretty good players at the end of the day. And, like, all around is a good squad. And having Micah Parsons, like, that's kind of just getting swept under the rug a little bit based on them tying to the Cowboys.
Micah Parsons, who's 6th on his own team in tackles for loss.
He doesn't play.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But, like, you think he's probably going to start playing now soon, right?
I don't know. It's week 6. It's week 7.
Yeah, you're right.
What?
I don't know. This one's a little bit. I'm like in between on this one. Can I say like it's a mild reaction?
Nope, that's not the game.
Yeah, it's an overreaction then.
Fine. All right, last one I have. Overreaction or proper reaction? The NFC, for the first time in quite some time, is better than the AFC. Because I look at the NFC Super Bowl contenders, Eagles, Lions, Bucs, Rams, and then that second tier is like Seattle, Washington, Atlanta, Green Bay. And then the AFC Super Bowl contenders I have is the Chiefs and the Bills. And then the second tier kind of starts there. Colts, Houston, Chargers. Like, I don't know who you feel good about in the AFC outside of the Chiefs and the Bills right now. And the Bills are coming off of 2 straight losses. I kind of think the Chargers, if they can get their offensive line healthy again, will be fine. Houston, I think, will probably be okay. And then it's like, are we really just launching them as the third team in the AFC right now?
At this point, right?
That's what I'm saying. So I think the NFC might have the edge over the AFC in 2025, which is usually a rarity.
But when you say they have the edge, do they have the edge from a depth perspective? Of course. I still think the top 2 teams I would pick to win the Super Bowl are the Chiefs and the Bills. And they both reside in the AFC, you know? Like if I had to just straight up pick what conference wins the Super Bowl, I would pick the AFC.
Really?
Just because of those 2 teams. But there's way more teams in the NFC that can do it. And
so if I gave you odds that were like AFC minus 120, NFC plus 110.
Well, then I would just take the Lions.
NFC plus 110. Are you taking that? AFC minus 110?
Yeah, I am.
There's a lot of there's more teams I feel good about in the NFC.
Like the Chiefs and the Bills are the teams that wins the Super Bowl this year.
But even the second tier NFC contenders like Seattle, Washington, Atlanta, at this moment in time in Week 6, a snapshot, I feel better about than the Colts, the Texans, and the Chargers.
Compared to the AFC, yeah. I mean, and there's way more top tier teams in the NFC as well. Like
I think there's 4 legitimate teams, and then Seattle, Washington, and Atlanta have a chance to jump in there.
There's 4, and you don't even count Green Bay, so most people would count them.
Yeah.
You know, so that's 5 teams that you legit feel really good about in the NFC, whereas the AFC,
Seattle's kind of making noise too.
Yeah. And like, who's to say the 49ers can't get a little bit healthier?
I say they can't get healthier.
Right. The defense is really, that's the tough part. But still, like, there's a lot better. It's going to be a lot tougher to make the playoffs in the NFC than the AFC this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. Like, I'm not worried about the Lions at all, but, like, they can't really afford a little lull. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if they're going to, like, if the division isn't locked up by any means, yeah.
And then, Chiefs and Bills. Are we just anointing the Colts the third team? We kind of have to by default right now.
Kind of have to unless you feel like, okay, we're just going to – that Denver game on Sunday, it was in London. It was weird. I still think their defense is nuts.
And you got to convince yourself of like Houston or the Chargers.
Or like your Patriots.
Or the Patriots or the Jags. And it's like, I just can't do that.
Or if you're really like, you know what, the Ravens will be fine.
How long do we get to do that one for? The Ravens will be fine.
That's over. I mean, they're not going to be fine. They have to do some crazy stuff to get back into it. 1-5.
They have to win the division. I don't think they can. I think it would take a collapse from the Steelers, which is totally possible.
They have to win the division, and one of the 2 teams with 1 losses in the AFC is in their division.
Yeah, but the Steelers are.
They also have 2 head-to-head
fake.
games with the Steelers still, so that really helps.
2 head-to-head games, and here's their upcoming schedule. They've got the Bears at home. Lamar should be back. On the road against Miami. The Vikings, who I think are one of the bigger question marks in the NFL right now. The Browns, the Jets, the Bengals, and the Steelers. Are the Ravens going to lose another game?
And then the Bengals again.
And then the Bengals again.
All right, what do you think Bengals to make the playoffs right now is?
Oh,
Just
man.
to make
Plus
the playoffs.
500?
You'd be mistaken. Plus 110 to make the playoffs. The books are still all in on the Ravens, man.
You said the Bengals.
Oh, did I say the Bengals?
Yeah, I was
My
like,
bad.
what?
My bad. I meant the Ravens.
No, look at their schedule, man. Are they going to lose a game for the next 7 weeks?
The Bengals are like plus 1,000 to make the playoffs.
Are the Ravens going to lose a game until December? The rest of their schedule in October and November is Bears, Dolphins, Vikings, Browns, Jets, Bengals. And then they still have their head-to-head games against the Steelers.
It all matters what the Steelers are going to do, though. Like, the Ravens can go on this crazy run, and if the Steelers can just tread water, then it's not going to matter.
Well, the Steelers play the Bengals Thursday, and then they
probably win.
They host the Packers.
Tough game.
Colts.
Tough game.
Chargers.
Tough game.
Bengals, Bears, Bills.
Ooh, yeah.
That's how they go up until September. But their September's pretty tough, too. I mean, they play the Lions and the Ravens.
It's going to be interesting.
I don't know. I don't think the Ravens can be totally ruled out yet. Lamar's kind of got to kick it into high gear right away when he comes back, though. 989-837-6125. Brian Branch, somewhat problematic. Suspended for Monday Night Football. Let's touch on that when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on the 100.9 The Mitt. Stay secure, stay connected, and stay ahead with Linked Technologies, your local IT experts in Midland. From small businesses and large operations, they provide custom tech solutions that actually make your life a wee bit easier. Specializing in networking, cybersecurity, and cloud services, and managed IT support all under one roof. Fast, reliable, with real people who speak your language. Whether you're upgrading, protecting, or troubleshooting, Linked Technologies keeps your systems running smooth. Visit linktechsolutions.com and see how they can help your business work smarter, not harder.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt's Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sherrone Mortensen, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
It's a group of people that come together to learn about and to provide input on things happening in our community. So our next upcoming time that we're together, we're talking about law enforcement. We're going to have our prosecutor and our sheriff and our police chief talking about what they're doing and then getting input from the group. So that's a wonderful way for people to come and learn and share their ideas. We've also partnered with the Midland Business Alliance on the My Pros Community Crowd Fund, which started, goodness now, I think it's been probably 4 years ago.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Are you new to investing and not sure where to begin? Start by looking for a financial advisor who will offer you a strategy personalized for you and your family. One who will be there as your life and financial situation changes. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. When we work together, we'll focus on what's important to you. We use an established process to create personalized financial strategies backed by the advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And we'll partner to help your strategy stay on track.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Hi, I know it's late, but I just had a fender bender, and I wasn't sure who to call.
You did the right thing. At Yiter Insurance, we're here for you 24/7, day or night, weekday or weekend. You'll always get a real person ready to help. Backed by Auto Owners Insurance.
Life doesn't happen on a 9-to-5 schedule, and neither does Yiter. With trusted partners like Auto Owners, whether it's a claim, a question about coverage, or just peace of mind, you can count on us anytime you need us.
Yiter Insurance, your friends in the insurance business. Always on, always here for you.
Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh. Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
Broken appliance? Don't panic. Call Mr. Appliance. With a 4.9-star Google rating, our expert service professionals deliver speedy service with a 1-year done-right promise, so you can count on long-lasting repairs. We treat your home or business with care, no mess, and no trace left behind. Ask about our appliance wellness program to keep things running smoothly year-round. Visit us online at MrAppliance.com for easy online scheduling and local contact information. Mr. Appliance, speedy, trusted, guaranteed. Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
How about a twofer? October 15th and October 22nd. Get this, we're giving away tickets to Michigan versus Michigan State in East Lansing this season. That's right, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. Back-to-back weeks, we're sending 2 lucky listeners home with tickets. That's Big Win Wednesday. Be ready to text in at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
High school sports don't just happen. There's a ton of work that goes into every single athletic event.
And we have our school's athletic director to thank for a lot of it. Thank you.
For scheduling officials, so I can always play the game I love.
For ordering quality athletic equipment, so I can stay safe on the field.
For mentoring my coaches, so they can be the best role models for me.
For coordinating transportation, so I can get focused for the big game.
For helping us develop character and learn lessons that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
Thank you to our AD for always creating a positive experience for us. We'll never forget it.
From all of us at the NIAAA, thank you to every athletic administrator in Michigan for all you do to enrich the lives of your students. It does not go unnoticed. This message presented by the NIAAA, the National Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). So Brian Branch, he's appealing the suspension. As of now, he is suspended on Monday night for an enormous game, a game that will control who's in first place in the NFC, I believe, because of the NFC. The Lions' second loss is to Kansas City. So if they were to win this game, I believe they go right back to the top. Who's the Bucs lost to? The Bucs lost to, I believe, an NFC team, right?
Philly.
Yeah. So if they were to, well, I guess Philly's second loss is to Denver. So, I'd have to do the tiebreakers. But there's a chance that if the Lions win this game, they're in first place in the NFC.
We can just call it that, yeah.
At least a tie for it. This is a big game, and Brian Branch, the Lions' second-best player on defense. Can we still say that with how Jack Campbell's playing? Second or third-best player on defense?
Yes.
You'd still have him second? Jack Campbell's kind of crazy this year.
Campbell's been really good. I guess I don't want to take anything away from him, but Branch just impacts it in so many different ways. So does Campbell, for sure. It's a good debate.
If neither of them are picking up penalties and playing on a consistent basis, then I would probably say Brian Branch. But this has now become a real thing. This isn't just a, hey, this is a one-time incident. He happened to, let his emotions get the best of him and got suspended for it. He has a rich history of this now. And over the past, his career, he has been suspended 13 different fines. Well, he's only been suspended once, but 13 different fines. He had horse collar tackle. This is the first one back in Atlanta, 2023. Helmet-to-helmet hit on Bijan. By the way, we talked about Bijan a good amount. This is just like side note. We'll get back to the conversation in a second. He has really fumbled the bag on. I give up on. I don't know how to pronounce his name because everyone keeps asking him, "How is it? Is it Bijan or is it Bijan?" And he says something different every time.
No,
he has fumbled it.
You're right. It is Bijan, but he said it's fine that people call him Bijan, so they can keep rocking with that.
No, but then he did an interview a couple weeks back when they were on primetime before the game. I heard this on Westwood One, and he said it's actually Bijan. I just said Bijan earlier because that's what everyone was calling. I have no idea what his name is anymore. Like, actually, no idea how to say his name.
Everyone says Bijan, so just rock with that. Yeah.
Sure, it's Bijan. Anyway,
speaking of guys who don't get their names right. Good old Deion Branch here.
What a shot by Deion Branch.
Thank you. He had a helmet-to-helmet hit against Denver, used his crown of the head against Arizona, fought against Arizona. That was a $10,000 fine. Hit to a defenseless receiver in Green Bay. That was a $10,000 fine. Obscene gesture in Green Bay. I think we all know what that was. Hip drop tackle. Don't really blame him for that one. Taunting against Chicago. That's not only a fine, but a penalty. Use of the helmet, that's top of the helmet, top of the crown against San Fran. Face mask against Green Bay. Taunting against Green Bay. Those were both $11,000 fines. And then a low block versus Baltimore earlier this year, which happened to be $11,000 as well. So altogether with the new one, $14,000 or 14 fines, over $130,000 in fines. That's crazy. That has to be cleaned up.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about that, especially now that the suspension has come in this post-game thing. Like I said, I don't get super concerned about the in-game stuff. If there's some of those things that you were reading off those lists there, whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah, hip drop tackles, no big deal.
Right. Even sometimes a late hit, as long as it's not anything egregious, it can be kind of tough. But, yeah, I mean, the stuff that's happening, with the Tucker Kraft taking off his helmet and throwing it, that doesn't need to happen. The stuff that it isn't actually happening during the plays, I mean, this is the conversation that we've never really had, and it doesn't really feel like many people have either. About, is there potentially an issue with Brian Branch? Behavioral stuff. I sure hope not. I mean, the way he plays football, it kind of seems that way. He's a very aggressive football player.
And he's way too valuable to be missing a primetime game against the other best team in the NFC. You can't miss, and they are missing him for that kind of game. You can't put yourself in a position to where you potentially are hurting your team. All you're doing is letting your team down.
And the context shouldn't matter, but the fact that you already have the amount of secondary guys injured as you do, and Kirby Joseph, who looked like he was in some serious knee injury last week, comes back into the game, but we're not going to sit here and act like he's going to be good to go this upcoming week.
No clue.
It shouldn't matter. Even if you're fully healthy, that you shouldn't be doing this, but that just adds even something else to it. We need you more than ever we've needed you this week. And obviously that's going to be tough to go without him.
And not only that, but he has a history of it, and I think that's part of the reason he got suspended. And I also think part of the reason he got suspended was it was an island game and everyone was watching. I wonder if this is a 1 o'clock game on Sunday, and if this kind of flies under the radar. I have a hard time believing he's suspended.
I don't know. I think that the entire post-game scram that it caused, like you and I talked about yesterday, if this would have just been as soon as Juju hits him with that blindside block, he goes up to him right after that and gives him a shove to the face and whatever, I don't really think this is not a suspension. It's a flag, and that's it. But the fact that it was post-game, it was targeted towards him, he went directly right up to him, their helmets are off, he punches him, it causes a whole flood of scene of people kind of getting into it. That's why there was a suspension here. I think it would have happened. I think it would have happened no matter the time. No matter the time, it would have.
Do you think emotions would have been that high though, during a 1 o'clock game? Because I feel like these games get a little bit more rowdy at night. You can feel the primetime energy in a lot of these stadiums.
It's the Chiefs as well, who are just unlikable, and they don't like the Chiefs. So,
I think if this was a 1 o'clock game, tempers would have been a little bit more down. I don't think it ever happens if it's a 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
Game.
The fact that this was that block happens with 3 minutes to go in the game, and he does that post game. Like you
thought about it.
You clearly think some deceleration of emotions would have happened in that time, right? You had time to digress from that, and he still went up to him afterwards. So I think this was happening no matter what.
He's too good of a player to be missing a big game like this. And it just so happens that the Lions are playing the other best team in the NFC this Monday. So they're going to be without him this week. So fingers crossed that Kirby Joseph's going to be all right. But Brian Branch cannot keep letting his team down like this. This is official, like, last strike, or 2 strikes, right? You've been thrown out of games. You've been suspended so many times.
I mean, what? They're not getting rid of Brian Branch because he does something else, right?
No, but this has to be a, like, Dan Campbell sits down with him and sets him straight. Like, this cannot happen again. Just so we're all on the same page. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live right here on 100.9 The Mitt. Let's not stray away from this conversation. More on Brian Branch when we come back here on 100.9 The Mitt, 11 o'clock hour on the way.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Max Stecker from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program. Visit 1009themitt.com.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sherrone Moore, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
Well, a couple things I'll mention. One I'm really proud of is the work we've done on post-secondary education, because when we think about what really transforms an individual's life, it's education. Mm-hmm. That makes such a difference in the ability to be able to have a livable wage, to be able to contribute to your community, to be able to give back. So the work that we've done in the post-secondary space, because we give out a lot of scholarships, but when I got there, I went, it seems like we're just a processor of scholarships. I want to be a promoter of education.
Yeah. Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
How about a twofer? October 15th and October 22nd. Get this, we're giving away tickets to Michigan versus Michigan State in East Lansing this season. That's right, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. Back-to-back weeks, we're sending 2 lucky listeners home with tickets. That's Big Win Wednesday. Be ready to text in at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show.
At Aird Insurance Group, they're more than just policies. They're your trusted partners in protecting what matters most.
Whether it's auto, home, life, or business insurance, their team takes the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage for your unique situation.
With personalized service and unbeatable rates, Aird Insurance Group makes protecting your future easy.
Call Aird Insurance Group today and see why their clients trust them to keep them covered.
Aird Insurance Group.
The experience matters.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
So Brian Branch is not going to be participating in Monday's game unless the suspension ends up getting upheld. I think that's very unlikely at this point based on what happened after the game. Guilty as ever. Like, no one is stepping up being like, oh, I don't think he should be suspended. No, he did it. He blatantly hit the guy in the face. And not only that, he just walked across the line of scrimmage right after Mahomes took his last knee and was fishing for something.
Ignored Mahomes' dap up even.
He was hunting something.
Yeah.
He wanted something to happen. Let's go to some Mitt messages. 989-837-6125. Brian Branch likes to hit people. Too bad he can't play some middle linebacker. The middle of the field seems to be where opponents like to throw the ball for first downs. He can cover over and hit someone over that part of the field. No, I mean, like, he kind of does play linebacker in a way. They line him up in the box all the time. He comes down as the strong safety and helps out in the run game, maybe better than any other safety in the NFL. He is essentially an extension of the linebacker room playing safety. That's the way I view him.
And especially when on Monday night, when it's 3rd and 11 and Baker Mayfield does his thing where he scrambles out of a sack and somehow picks up a first down, would love to have Brian Branch there to be able to take him down. That is a perfect guy you need to play against a quarterback like Baker Mayfield with his scramble ability.
And not only that, but, like, you know who's probably going to be in play for him? Is Thomas Harper. Thomas Harper had that awesome PBU on Sunday against Mahomes.
Still,
but, like,
who is Thomas Harper?
Exactly.
You know?
For anyone wondering, he's a Raiders waiver wire pickup after training camp. But, yes, to your point, it's not like you have some backup that you're totally content with coming in and running the strong safety position. It's not a good look. It really isn't. And I wonder how it reflects in the spread going into Monday night. I don't know the spread yet. I don't want to know the spread, so don't tell me. But I won't. I'm working off the assumption Brian Branch is not going to be there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, Ali McNeil is going to be playing because that'll help out in a big way too.
Absolutely.
But I also am not really anticipating that. That seems like it makes more sense to just wait, go into the bye and give him an extra 2 weeks.
Sure, but I also think that, like, fortunately for the Lions, you're playing against a team that is also pretty banged up.
Yeah.
Like, to the same standard that you are, honestly.
If not worse.
Yeah,
probably worse.
Probably worse, yeah, exactly. And the Bucs have still been able to pull out these wins. The Lions have as well, obviously, other than last week against the Chiefs. So we will see if this is a week where the Bucs use it to bring some guys back. They've already ruled out Bucky Irving. They've already ruled out Chris Godwin. Mike Evans might be coming back this week. Emeka Egbuka left the game last week. Like, that's just their offensive playmakers.
They've got 3 offensive linemen out as well.
Exactly, and their defensive line is still banged up. So this is a team that is clearly hindered by injury. They're super deep, and that's kind of why they've been able to still pull out these games. And also they have the guy that's potentially playing the best in the league at quarterback right now. So that helps.
You're so right, though. Having a Brian Branch in that sort of game who can roam over the middle of the field and light up Baker Mayfield for trying to run on this Lions defense.
On 3rd and long, which he does so often and picks it up so often.
It actually is crazy. And you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe it's a good thing that Baker Mayfield doesn't have to deal with Brian Branch, because Baker Mayfield and Brian Branch would inevitably get into a fight. And if Brian Branch didn't get suspended last week against Juju, he would have got suspended this week for doing something crazy against Tampa Bay, because Baker definitely would have pissed this guy off.
That's a great point. This is the part that I hate the most about this game, by the way, with the Lions and the Bucs, is I'm a guy that, and I know some people are, I mean, at least like John, I know, talked about how he's out on Baker or whatever. I love Baker. I love Baker. It's really hard to not like him. But him talking crap to the team I like is definitely going to be some mixed emotions. That's for sure. We've played him a bunch of times, too, by the way. It's not like, this is fresh or anything.
Yeah, but he's playing with a different level of swagger right now.
Absolutely at a different level right now than he ever has. So that's what I'm worried about. But, yeah, the Branch stuff, I'm interested what other people think as far as how their frustration level with Brian Branch, because the guy's so good at football. Like, I can't sit here and harp on him and be like, man, Branch, what are we doing, man? I'm pissed off at you, Brian Branch. Like, no. He's still really good at football, and I wish that he recognized that a little bit more, because this stuff that he does, he probably does recognize that, of course, but this stuff's got to come to an end because he's too important to this team, especially right now and especially this week.
The next month, this season. Like, there's just too much at stake this season for him to be missing any sort of games.
And now that he is a repeat offender and they have suspended him for this, it's only going to get worse if something else happens.
Yeah, now he's on thin ice for the rest of his career. Like, now he has, especially because it was prime time, has built up a reputation as not a dirty player, but a player with a temper. That is now a thing, and it's not going away no matter what.
Yes.
You have to erase the narrative by just controlling your emotions. Take it out on the field. I'll live with the hip drops and leading with the crown, and sometimes you just end up getting fined because you're an aggressive football player. And Brian Branch is an aggressive football player and likes to lay the boom. That stuff cannot continue to happen in terms of the penalties, the taunting, the unsportsmanlike after the whistle, and, of course, after the game ends. It hurts the Lions too much. There's too much at stake this season for that to be okay. And by the sound of what Dan Campbell was saying after the game, it sounded like they potentially would have
suspended him anyways.
It's kind of what it sounded like reading between the legs, or reading between the lines there.
Legs.
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, he basically said after the game, that's not going to be okay. Like, that's unacceptable, and we're going to do what we have to do to make sure that doesn't happen again. So I don't know if Brian Branch wasn't suspended by the NFL, I think there's a chance he wouldn't be playing this game
That's a good
anyway.
point. I mean, and Campbell and the rest of the staff has stayed pretty stand pat on their, stance on the disciplinary stuff. The stuff that they don't agree with, they are going to discipline their guys for it. So maybe this would have happened. I think it's probably best that it just came down from the league, so they weren't forced to be put in that situation, because it's really tough to tell yourselves we have to keep our morals and everything in line, which I think they do value that, which is fine. But you also got to realize that Brian Branch is pretty needed in this football game, So it's best that the suspension comes down for the league. It's not going to get – I would be shocked if this gets appealed, just because it was kind of obvious this was coming. It didn't really shock me when I got this notification yesterday. I'm assuming you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's tough.
It's very unfortunate.
Well, it seems like, too, Branch is now a player that guys can – like, this is not good for the rest of his career just from a opponent standpoint. Guys can get in his head pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
That's
and
been
people
made,
are going to be attempting to do it from this point forward.
That's been made clear. I mean, like I keep bringing him up, but, man, Tucker Kraft really is in this guy's head. Same with Kirby. And Tucker Kraft is a hateable guy. Like, I'm a Lions fan. I don't like Tucker Kraft, man. He's so annoying. But he's good at his job as far as getting in the head of the opponent. And that's what a lot of guys in the league are good at. He's for sure good at it. And Mahomes, Juju, those guys are kind of those pick your brain kind of guys in the game.
They're good at it.
They're really good at it. And Branch needs to just cool it a little bit. Hopefully this is a learning lesson for him, definitely.
989-837-6125. Let's go to a couple text messages. Michael saying he's been singled out by the officials his whole career. I don't think that's true. I think he just plays a little bit like with 10% more aggression than any other player, and that sticks out. I mean, it sticks out on the TV. It's going to stick out on the field when you're wearing an official's jersey as well. I don't think this has anything to do with him being targeted by the officials.
No, I mean, there's been some questionable calls for sure.
There's questionable calls every week.
Like when I mean, like there's been some that you look at and you're like, are you serious? Like when they kicked him out of the Green Bay game last year. Like, are we serious? There's been stuff like that, but yeah, I don't think he has been targeted by no one is targeted by the officials, man.
No, I agree with you. Tripp saying, but they won't review the cheap crack block on the game that took, or a couple plays earlier in the game, and then Juju standing over him. They still could review that. Like, it could come out today that Juju's getting a fine for that. I wouldn't be shocked. I kind of expect it. Like, he should get fined for that. That was a total blindside hit, and he's probably going to get fined for that.
Right in front of the official, too. That was the most frustrating part.
Do you think he gets fined for that? I'd be pretty shocked if he didn't.
I don't know. I mean, it didn't even get called in the game.
That doesn't matter. Brian Branch has been fined for a handful of stuff that hasn't been called in a game.
Yeah, maybe he will. Hopefully he does. It'd make you feel a little bit more valid about the Branch stuff.
A little bit. It'd also be a little bit, like, I don't know, if they throw the flag on that play, do you think Brian Branch still has to retaliate after the game? Probably not. Probably frustrates Lions fans even more.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what he said in his post-game presser. Like, he talked about, that was childish, I shouldn't have done it, but I was just really frustrated that they didn't call a flag on that block.
Yeah, because he could have gotten hurt. Like, he said that, and I agree. Based on that play, he totally got blindsided.
Yeah, if they throw a flag on Juju there, I don't think none of this happens. So, I mean, we could blame it on the officials, I guess.
Oh, shocker. What's new? Someone said, do the officials get suspended without pay for their misconduct?
Good one.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's the other thing. This is an unpaid suspension. He's not getting paid for this game.
Poor guy.
Let's go. One more text. It says, I watched this whole game. I didn't see any refs calling anything any differently than any other day. Why can't the Detroiters just take a loss? I more so agree with that comment than just blaming the refs, honestly.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was your whole thing yesterday. Like,
yeah, I know.
It's true. Like, At some point,
not the
we
reason
got to
they lost.
realize that the Lions lost by 2 touchdowns, and it was self-inflicted wounds why they did,
Couldn't agree more. 989-837-6125. I think Branch is going to be okay. Got to get him under control, though, because this has just been a little bit too egregious over the last year and a half. 14 different fines. Crazy. 989-837-6125. The 11 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned and trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter has the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple. With expert advice and real people you can actually talk to, Yiter Insurance Group, they'll be there when you need them since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Since 1940, Yiter Insurance Group has been a trusted friend to generations of your neighbors in the Great Lakes Bay region and across the country. Proudly representing auto owners insurance, we're licensed in nearly every state, so no matter where life takes you, we got you covered. And because we're an independent insurance agent, we don't believe in one size fits all. We work for you to find coverage that fits your life, your family, and your business. That's why families and businesses have relied on Yiter Insurance and auto owners for peace of mind. Yiter Insurance Group, local roots, national reach, and always your friend in the insurance business.
Is your business protected, connected, and running at full speed? At IronStack Technology, they provide rock-solid IT solutions, cybersecurity, and support tailored for small and mid-sized businesses. From managed services to cloud migration and 24/7 monitoring, they've got your back so you can focus on what matters most, growing your business. Visit IronStackTechnology.com today and build your IT on a foundation of strength. IronStack Technology, IT that works as hard as you do.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Rivalry renewed. The 6-1 Freeland Falcons and the 6-1 Frankenmuth Eagles. The winner takes the Tri-Valley Conference Red. Freeland, Frankenmuth. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 on Friday night.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Looms. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Let's pick out a good wine. Let's discover a new taste from a new place. Let's meet the people who handpick the grapes in places dedicated to the craft, in a land that only knows one way to grow things, rich and full. Welcome to Michigan, where the 4 seasons and 4 Great Lakes smile on the winemaker, where the quality of the wine is exceeded only by the warmth of the greeting waiting for us. And with more than 90 wineries, covering more than 13,000 acres, the harvest has never been better. So let's wander through lush vineyards, discover hidden treasures in vast cellars, and renew ourselves in comfortable tasting rooms. Let's all raise a glass. Let's gather our closest friends and become even closer. Because taking time to toast the beauty and bounty of life is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). Let's jump back into the college scene. Michigan State, both in not too great situations right now. Obviously, Michigan State feeling a little bit worse about themselves. But relative to expectations, I don't think they're all that far apart. Michigan State probably still takes the cake for the team that's disappointed everyone the most. But I don't think Michigan fans are feeling all that great about this season after USC. It'd be one thing if they lost. That 4-2 record doesn't feel all that bad. But you watch that game on Saturday night, and you're like, oh, my God, they're getting boat raced right now.
Yeah, they were just basically out of it the whole time.
And it never really felt like they were going to get themselves back into it, too. And just when you thought they would, turnover. Like, they shot themselves in the foot, and USC took advantage of it in every way, shape, and form. The most alarming part of the Michigan game for me was their inability to stop the run. Right? Their third-string running back, USC, ran for 150-plus yards on the Michigan team. That's the most since Kenneth Walker ran for a gajillion in 2021. A Michigan
five
football
touchdowns, too.
Thank you. A Michigan football team that can't stop the run is not a Michigan football team. So this team in 2025, if they're not going to be able to do that, then what are they? That is the bread and butter of this Michigan program, win in the trenches, and they're not really doing that on either side of the football right now.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point of like trying to replicate Jim Harbaugh if Jim Harbaugh's number one thing is stopping the run. It's based on defense. It's controlling the run game.
It's controlling the clock.
Right, dominating it on offense and then stopping it defensively. And I do agree that like the personnel for Michigan is just not as good. Like
No.
I think that's clear as well. Like you talked about it with the offensive line. This is a Michigan team that has produced NFL offensive linemen year in, year out the last 5 seasons. NFL defensive linemen year in, year out the last 5 NFL seasons. Like it's a continual trend where outside of Jayshawn Barham for sure on that defensive line, and he's not even really going to be a traditional NFL edge rusher probably, there isn't NFL guys on either side. So it's interesting to see kind of how Sherrone Moore is going to handle this thing going forward with the rest of their schedule because there's an opportunity for them to continue to explore. And I know we kind of keep talking about that, this trying different things out stuff for Michigan. But at some point, you do have to kind of recognize the schedule ahead of you. And, like, there is a outlook to the playoff at some point. You got to be ready to knock off Ohio State. This is a Michigan team that has gotten used to it at this point. Sherrone Moore did it last year in a down season for the Wolverines. And I think if they beat Ohio State, none of us are talking about this Sherrone Moore stuff anymore, right?
Yeah. No, you're right, but it's a lot of eggs in that basket. It's a lot.
You have 5 weeks ahead of you to prep for that and to try out different things against these other teams. And I'm not saying, like, don't play your best football and only focus on Ohio State, but use these next 5 games to figure out what's the best formula to actually knock off a good team because, like you and I just talked about, Michigan's best win is against a solid Nebraska team.
I think by the time Ohio State rolls around, they need to have a game plan. Because I think what's become very apparent is they prepare for that game much differently than any other game that exists. And they're like, that's not breaking any news. But they have put all their eggs in that basket, right? Last season, not a success. But because they beat Ohio State, you can call it one in the grand scheme of things, right? You'll hear Michigan fans say it all the time. As long as they beat Ohio State, that's all that matters.
Look, there was Michigan fans saying they would have rather been Michigan than Ohio State last year just because they beat them head-to-head.
That's just crazy.
It's not like the Guardians fans, man. We got to chill out with that.
They got to figure it out by week 13 or 14 or whatever. Everyone has 2 byes now. So by the time week 14 rolls around and they're playing Ohio State, they've got to know what their identity is. And that's the thing I struggle with the most with this Michigan team, at least on offense. What is it that this team does well? Do they want to be a shotgun team? Do they want to be a run-heavy, under-center, play-action team? It feels like on a series-to-series basis, we don't really have answers. Do they want to be an RPO team? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I wish we had answers as to how they want to operate. And Sherrone Moore's not really giving me anything. The tape doesn't really suggest anything. I don't know. It's unfortunate.
But you have these games to do it. Like that's the benefit of Michigan. Like I know we've had this discussion all day about is Sherrone Moore the guy or not. Well, the good news is it's not like they're under pressure to answer that question right now. You know, he's got plenty of time to figure that out. I don't see a world where Sherrone Moore is like gone this offseason, right?
No,
There's
no
way.
No.
You know, so like we can ask the question, is Sherrone Moore the guy? And I still believe the answer is no. Just from in 5 years from now, is Sherrone Moore going to be the head coach of Michigan? I would say heavily no. That's how I've never believed he's the long-term coach of the Wolverines. I've always felt he is the in-betweener of the Jim Harbaugh era that people in this athletic department and the fan base are still grasping onto, which I would too. They won a national championship with him. And then the next era, the Bryce Underwood era. And I do believe that Sherrone Moore is just the guy that's in between. I don't know when that next guy comes because Michigan is still they're still good. It's like they're a bad team. He's not fireable right now like the guy in East Lansing. So I don't know when it's ever going to happen, but he's got time to prove himself. That's the good part.
That whatever's going on in East Lansing, that is really like the Michigan fans can complain about Sherrone Moore. The Michigan State fans,
yeah, I mean,
it is just gross football right now. I don't know how it's been ugly the last 4 years, and as of right now, after this weekend, I think that's the new rock bottom. Somehow that's worse than whatever happened with the Mel Tucker year.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, that was we discussed this earlier. It was the most embarrassing loss you could have. I don't care if UCLA went and upset Penn State. Like, at the end of the day, you were still 10-point favorites on your homecoming. People leaving by halftime of the game in a humongous Spartan Stadium against a team that fired their entire coaching staff 2 weeks prior.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody on that staff, brand new, never coached. Like, I can't believe that. It's such an embarrassing loss when you have these games against Nebraska and the USC game where you're like, well, at least we covered. You know, like that's the new win for Michigan State. Like, oh, we played them tough. Now we can maybe go on a run of winning some Big Ten games. That's not going to happen, dude. We're sitting here looking at the schedule talking about what game are they going to win.
I don't know if they're going to win in a single game.
That was the conversation UCLA was having 3 weeks ago. You know, like it's so frustrating. And I understand that Penn State has gone on a little bit of a skid here, but wow, would you love to have that guy as the head coach?
James Franklin, yeah, I would agree. They're 28, what'd you say, 29-point favorites? 31-point or 31-point underdogs?
It was 27.5 yesterday when I checked, so just shy of 30.
So you're not beating Indiana.
Conference football game, dude.
You're not beating Indiana. You're home against Michigan, which probably feels a little bit more gettable than it did a couple weeks back, but you're still probably going to be double-digit dogs.
I mean, Michigan has owned this rivalry the last several seasons.
Yeah, you can't even do the Michigan
year,
State plays them tough thing anymore.
State did, I guess, play them somewhat tight last year. I will give them that. Last year was a close game, but Michigan also wasn't very good last year.
Once again, not a ton of juice going into that one.
Yeah, that's the part. Who even really cares? Yeah.
And then you're on the road against Minnesota.
That's the one. That's the one you look at and you're like, okay, that's got to be the game, right?
Minnesota's 2-1 in conference play. Who have they beaten? Minnesota has beaten Rutgers and they beat Purdue. So a couple of the worst teams.
Bottom feeders, exactly.
Michigan State might be the bottom feeder, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're with a group of teams that are 0-3 in the conference, and as much as Penn State, we want to sit here and joke about them, if State went head-to-head with Penn State right now, they wouldn't win.
No. They'd get trounced. Rutgers, Purdue, Wisconsin, the other undefeated team. How is Luke Fickell still employed, by the way? Jonathan Smith and Luke Fickell just holding on by a string to both of their jobs. Wisconsin and MSU's coach.
Fickell's been there longer, too. Like, you would think he's definitely going to get the leash snapped at this point. But in the year for Michigan State where they don't have to play all three of Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon, you avoid all three of them in conference play, and we're 3 games into the conference and you haven't won a game yet? That's unreal. This should have been a year that you really felt good about coming into. Like, we sat here and talked all about how Michigan has this easy conference schedule this year. Oh, they avoid all these other good teams. Their conference schedule's tougher than MSU's.
Yeah.
MSU has it easy. I mean, at Indiana, sure. That's
the tough one.
That's a really tough one, definitely. Outside of that, it's like the at USC game wasn't even that big of one at the time.
And you still put up 34.
Yeah.
At least you put up 34 on them. Michigan put up 13.
Yeah. It's
honestly, man, that Michigan State game, like, at least Michigan State we know can score. I'm not sure Michigan knows how to score. And now the Michigan State defense can't get any stops. Can't stop a nosebleed.
That's the thing is because I
100 points
sit here and I've been an Aiden Childs defender, and I still think the talent is there, and I still think that if things do go the way we expect them to and everybody's fired, Childs probably transfers out, goes somewhere, and I think he could be successful. But I can't put all the blame on the offensive line. I can put a lot of it on the offensive line. Childs still turns the ball over and makes terrible decisions very, very frequently.
I'd say like 80,
and the offensive line plays into that, of course.
I'd say like 82% of the blame goes on the offensive line. 18% on Childs.
Yeah. Because I still think Childs is going to be, like, next year when he transfers to X school and is their starter, I think he's going to be pretty good. I do. As long as he's in a better situation than he is now, which is probably pretty likely.
He's running for his life on a down-and-down basis. Did get one text that says Urban Meyers is Michigan's next head coach. Long shot, but not really.
Michigan's next head coach?
That'd be insane. I do think that's a long shot. I don't think that's going to happen.
Do you remember when Urban Meyer was like, that was the discussion when State was looking for their next coach and hired Jonathan Smith?
Yeah, I don't think that was ever going to happen, though.
No, but it was like a pipe dream.
Urban Meyer is very comfortable sitting in that Fox chair. I don't think he's going to coach again.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the last time he coached, it didn't go so well. So
no, and I don't think he needs to go hurt his reputation anymore.
I saw
He's
somebody
fine
was
doing
like,
the Fox thing.
John Gruden is going to come coach the Spartans.
No, John Gruden's had the time of his life at Barstool.
John Gruden
he loves his life.
He's also been going through like a now year-long lawsuit with the NFL. Like, he's clearly got he still is attached to what happened in his previous coaching thing. He's not going to go coach Michigan State.
No.
Yeah.
He's also having the time of his life at Barstool. Looks like he's having fun. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday so far. Summer's almost over, but your gardening needs are at an all-time high. Midland's go-to spot is Maple Hill Nursery. From vibrant flowers and shrubs to trees and seasonal plants, they've got the stuff to keep your garden covered. Expert advice and local growers who care about your success as much as you do. Quality plants, quality soil, and the tools you need to make your yard bloom. Stop by Maple Hill Nursery and get inspired to grow something beautiful this season or next. Find them right here in Midland, your garden's new best friend.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Max Stecker from Midland High School. With a 4.6 GPA, Max was a state-ranked discus and shot put thrower and the SVL Blues 2024 Player of the Year in football. Max credits his parents for instilling the work ethic in athletics and academics.
Both my parents, my mom was a teacher, so over the summers I'd be doing math packets, everything like that, staying on top of things. And then, my dad would always just, be the really big encourager as far as sports go and stuff like that.
Max is now attending Northwood, a member of the Timberwolves football and track and field team. He's majoring in accounting and finance. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete, as we are now taking applications for our 2025-26 scholarship program. Visit 1009themitt.com.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loon staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Into the end zone. The Michigan State Spartans.
Touchdown, MSU.
Heard right here on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports.
The Spartans look for their first Big Ten win of 2025. MSU is Bloomington bound, facing Indiana. Kickoff Saturday at 3:30, presented by Weiss Equipment.
Don't miss a moment of Spartans football on Sports Radio 100.9.
Let's give them what they want.
Do it.
100.9 The Mitt.
Every Wednesday on the Ben Bosscher Show, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet, you've got a chance to be a big winner.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
How about a twofer? October 15th and October 22nd. Get this, we're giving away tickets to Michigan versus Michigan State in East Lansing this season. That's right, thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. Back-to-back weeks, we're sending 2 lucky listeners home with tickets. That's Big Win Wednesday. Be ready to text in at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show. I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think we're nearing the end of the Jonathan Smith era at Michigan State. I think Scott Harris trading for a half dozen pitchers at the trade deadline is officially a failure considering how the season ended. I think the Detroit Lions are going to give the Packers an astronomical revenge whooping on Thanksgiving later this year.
and I think you should listen to The Ben Bosscher Show, weekdays from 9 to noon, presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of. It's hot! Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat. From Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a two-hearted ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on The Mitt, and I think it's time to hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, let's get right back into the news, Ben.
All right.
We talked about a couple coaches being fired so far throughout this show today and yesterday. James Franklin, of course, Brian Callahan. We got to toss in Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer at UAB, the Blazers, former Super Bowl quarterback with the Baltimore Ravens, you could say.
Oh, good pull.
Yeah. He got fired at UAB. You ever watch the Dilfer's Dime segment on ESPN growing up, man? That used to be.
Nope.
Used to love that, man. But Trent Dilfer, he's done at UAB. So shout out to him. More NFL stuff. Zadarius Smith has retired. Whoa. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I guess maybe Brad Holmes was right about this one. Letting him.
Yeah, are we going to get
not...
mad about this still?
No, I guess not. Yeah, just kind of out of nowhere. Had a sack last week, and then after this week, just
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm all set.
I'm out.
He must be banged up. It must be a fatigue situation. But yeah, I got nothing else besides. I guess I'll stop getting mad at Brad Holmes until the next time I get mad at Brad Holmes.
How bad would it have been if he was on the Lions and retired mid-season?
Oh.
When we already have this Decker stuff, we already had the Ragnow stuff. That would have been brutal.
Yeah, I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah, so it's a good thing.
Good thing we don't have to.
Good thing it happened to the Eagles. Shout out to Zadarius Smith, though. Cool guy. Speaking of edge rushers, one that used to play with Zadarius Smith, Myles Garrett spoke to the media yesterday, and he was quite frustrated. Says, it is frustrating to lose every game the same way with the offense not being able to provide points.
Oh, my God.
Oh, big calling out of the offense in Dillon Gabriel of Myles Garrett.
Remember when he said he didn't want to ever play for the Browns again, and then he signed a, like...
And then they said, here, yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will. And then he signed it willingly, and now he's going to talk bad about the rest of it. He knew the situation he was going into, because remember the entire thing was, I want to play for a winning organization, and then the entire thing was, it wasn't about the money, it was because they laid out a plan for me as to who was going to be the quarterback.
Yeah, our plan is we're going to have 8 quarterbacks this year. One of them's bound to work, right?
They had to have been spoon-feeding this guy anything he wanted to hear during these meetings. Here's our plan. We're going to draft Dillon Gabriel, and then we're going to draft Shedeur Sanders way later on in the draft, and he's going to be our quarterback by week 14, but we're going to wait a while to do it to make a big media headline about it. Does that sound enticing to you? Yeah, man.
Yeah,
sounds good.
Wait, you said how much money, by the way?
Yeah.
That's all. Wait, I was still stuck on that part. Speaking of the Shedeur stuff, did you see Shiloh Sanders went to the Browns game dressed as Shador and was like acting like he was Shador, signing autographs.
What?
And stuff. Which, like, I mean, they're brothers. Obviously, they look pretty similar.
I've seen Shiloh Sanders impersonate his dad.
Yeah, no, he was telling everybody he was Shador and like signing autographs and like dressed in the Sanders jersey and everything.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty funny.
That's pretty good.
College football coaching news. Bill Belichick calls the rumors of his UNC exit categorically false. Says that ain't happening with all this stuff going on at UNC. I don't know. Is it going to be his choice in a year? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I would be pretty shocked if he ran it back next. I don't think they're going to fire him this year, but I think.
But do they? But like, is it?
I think it's a mutually
it's
part
him
ways
stepping
thing.
away. I think. Yeah.
I think that.
You don't fire a guy where he has it in his contract that his son is becoming the coach when he's done. You know?
I think you do anything you can to get him to go.
You don't fire him.
Bill, just go live your best life. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. We appreciate you leading us to 3-9 this season. Just go live your best life with Jordan on a beach and dress up like a mermaid every Halloween. Go live. We appreciate you. That's what they should tell him.
That'd be pretty good. Other college football coaching news. Matt Rule was asked about his potential of leaving Nebraska for Penn State. It kind of seems like he's got the headliner to get that job, which is obviously going to be very highly touted. Matt Rule went to Penn State, played football there. He's got really close ties with the athletic director. He said he loves Nebraska, but didn't shut down the idea of going to Penn State. Didn't like decline it. Didn't say anything like, no, I'm staying here. He just basically was like, yeah, I love it here at Nebraska. Which he's done a good job of turning that around there, you know.
He's done a fine job.
They're relevant again. They're never going to be like in the playoff or anything, but
no, I don't think so.
I think he's got to be the head, like the favorite to get this spot.
Really?
I think it would make a ton of sense, man.
A lot of people are saying Cignetti, but I don't know why Cignetti would leave Indiana.
Why would he leave? If
he's going to leave, it's going to go to the SEC.
That's what I was just going to say. It would be to take the Florida job or to take just any other high SEC team that is.
There's some Bama buzz. Some Kalen DeBoer buzz.
Bama's good again.
Yeah, there's some Kalen DeBoer's unhappy buzz. I'm just saying.
Really? Is there? That's news to me.
It's not news. It's buzz. You know?
Right.
It's on the tea leaves.
Yesterday, the Red Wings, another win, 3-2 to win over the Leafs.
How about Cam Talbot?
Do we own the Maple Leafs? That's what some people are saying. They're 2-1 now.
I would say so. Their only 2 wins have come against Toronto this season. Hey, Cam Talbot, 39 saves, and that doesn't even do it justice. This guy was having a hell of a performance, a kind of performance in goal that you write stories about. He was awesome yesterday in the net at 2 o'clock, so I spent my afternoon. I'm kind of embracing the Wings this year, man. I like this. I would be lying if I said I watched all 82
you were out on them
last
after
year.
one game.
I wasn't out on. I'm just here to see what happens, you know. And yesterday I thought was an incredible performance from, not necessarily the defense, but from Talbot, who's officially the goalie one on this team. So that was good that they ended up trading a second, a fourth, and a player for John Gibson, who's now just the second goalie on the team. So awesome stuff there from Yzerman. The bigger news out of this isn't even the win, though. It's the fact that Alex DeBrincat left the game with an upper body injury and not really a timeline for him to return right now. So hopefully he can come back as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's scary stuff.
And your boy, Appleton, MSU grad, ends up scoring the game-winning goal in the second period.
Yeah, my boy. He's for sure my boy. Red Wings back in action tomorrow night. They actually get the TNT slot at 7 p.m. against the reigning champion Panthers.
Said 7:30?
7
on
TNT. Back at home as well, so that should be a good one. All right, it's wintertime almost. Not really, but we're getting there. That means college basketball is almost here, baby. We got the preseason AP poll yesterday. The Michigan Wolverines come in as a top 10 team at number 7, and the reigning Big 10 champions, Michigan State Spartans, come in at number 22.
I can't wait for college basketball season to start. There's a lot going on in early November between NBA, NHL, college football still going on, the NFL. So, it takes a little bit of a backseat for a while, but Michigan and Michigan State.
Not for me, baby.
Michigan State should both be pretty lights out this season. Both top 25
Michigan's
teams.
Gonna be very good.
Michigan's front court is
They may have the
really
player of
good.
the year on their team, folks.
Yaxel Lindenberg.
But the reigning player of the year in Braden Smith and Purdue, they are the #1 team in the country. So once again, it's all hands on deck. We hate Purdue this year.
Yep. Michigan fans, Michigan State fans can all agree on that.
Yeah.
I don't know how Braden Smith is still there. Is he not going into his 7th season?
He's a true senior this year, shockingly, to everyone's surprise. It's just because he's
been good since he was a freshman.
He came on the scene as a true freshman with Fletcher Lawyer and was a starting point guard from day one. So, yeah, he's a regularly aged college senior.
No, I'm just gonna start saying he's like 27.
Right. Okay, last thing here on the news. Actually, we'll toss in that the Padres manager, Mike Schilt, he actually retired yesterday, kind of unexpectedly at age 57. But anyways, I wanted to end the news here because I thought this was interesting. Mike Tomlin was pretty blunt in the media yesterday talking about, obviously they played the Browns last week. They played the Bengals this week. So he was asked about the Browns trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals. And he says, to be honest, it was shocking to me. Andrew Berry, the Cleveland GM, must be a lot smarter than me or any of us because it doesn't make any sense to me to trade a quarterback that you think is good enough to be your opening day starter to a division opponent that's hurting in that area. And he kind of had some saltiness to his when I listened to this as well. He was like this, basically calling him, "Are you serious? You actually did that?" I kind of get it though.
I agree, but they're also both just walking dumpster fires. So who cares?
Yeah, good point. Okay, that's it.
All right, that's the news. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show here on 100.9 The Mitt. Matt Smith, Modern Realty. If you're looking to move, this is the guy to talk to. Redefining real estate with a fresh, modern approach. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, Matt Smith delivers personalized service tailored for you. Cutting-edge marketing, local expertise, and a commitment to making your real estate experience as smooth as possible. From cozy starter homes to luxury properties, they know how to find you the perfect fit. Trust the team that combines innovation and real-world know-how. That's Matt Smith, Modern Realty.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
Looking for a job can feel like searching for a needle in a haystack. But at Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, they've got the magnet. Whether you're looking for steady work in manufacturing, a fresh start in the office, or the right people to grow your business, they make the match simple. Local recruiters, real relationships, and opportunities that fit you. That's the Spherion difference. Find your perfect fit today. Visit Spherion.com/Midland. Spherion Staffing and Recruiting, where opportunity works.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know the pervasive use of technology can lead to digital eye strain, burning or tired eyes, headaches, fatigue, loss of focus, blurred or double vision. Overexposure light from electronic devices may also increase the likelihood of developing serious eye conditions such as age-related macular degeneration. To give your eyes a rest, remember 20-20-20. Every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look at something 20 feet away. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Sherrone Moore, President and CEO of the Midland Area Community Foundation.
It's a group of people that come together to learn about and to provide input on things happening in our community. So our next upcoming time that we're together, we're talking about law enforcement. We're going to have our prosecutor and our sheriff and our police chief talking about what they're doing and then getting input from the group. So that's a wonderful way for people to come and learn and share their ideas. We've also partnered with the Midland Business Alliance on the My Pros Community Crowd Fund, which started, goodness now, I think it's been probably 4 years ago.
Listen to the full episode on YouTube at 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
The high school football game of the week, presented by the Forward Corporation.
Rivalry renewed. The 6-1 Freeland Falcons and the 6-1 Frankenmuth Eagles. The winner takes the Tri-Valley Conference Red. Freeland, Frankenmuth. Pre-game coverage at 6:50 on Friday night.
Don't miss any of the action on the Great Lakes Bay region's home for sports. Sports Radio 100.9.
The Mitt.
The Mitt. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt for the most passionate fans in Michigan. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation, that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, 989-837-6125. We've got not one, but two traditions to close out every show here on the Ben Bosscher Show. The first of those being our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the Day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, the first thing we got to do is our Lock of the Day. Give us an update because we got to win last night on Monday Night Football.
Yes, a lot of options to pick from yesterday, so that helped you out. This hit pretty comfortably. Bills, Falcons under 49.5. 38 points, I think, is what was scored in this game.
Wow.
Minus 118, you hit that. I tailed it. It seemed like a good play, and it got you off of your 5-game losing streak, so that's pretty big. 21.96 units down all time, but you're up on the week, and you are down 3.27 units in the month of October. Ben, what's the play today?
The play today is going to be baseball, something that I haven't been all that successful in.
Only
but
one game on today, too. Not a lot to choose from.
Yeah, not if there was no baseball on, I don't. You need hockey, or I don't like betting on hockey.
You would have to go hockey. There's no other choice.
Hockey is the worst thing to bet on. I'd rather bet on basketball.
We got
I feel like
Maction
I'm
coming
pretty
up.
good at basketball.
Oh, you're right. Maction coming up in November, by the way.
College basketball, I feel like, is pretty fun.
Yes, yes.
But today I'm going with the Dodgers over 3.5 runs for their first 4 playoff games that they played this postseason. They went over this, and then they've been stuck at 2 runs each of the last 3 games. I think today's the day they kind of get over the hump and start scoring some more runs. Yesterday, a low-scoring 2-1 victory. Today, I think they be the Dodgers and hit enough home runs to where that over 3.5 is going to hit. So I will go with the Los Angeles Dodgers to hit 4 runs today, over 3.5. Taylor fade.
Oh, I'm debating here because Freddie Peralta's on the mound for the Brewers.
Debating Manning.
But Yamamoto's on the mound for the Dodgers. This was a tight, low-scoring game in Game 1. Good pitching. I kind of think it's going to be that way overall. What's the over-under in this game? I think that's going to be my true decider of the game here, because I do think the Brewers are going to win tonight. I don't think this is a 2-0 go up for the Dodgers like they have in the last 2 series. So I think that depending on what the over-under is, I'm pulling up really quick, 7.5. So that would mean like a 4-3 win for the Brewers. That means under. I will fade.
Ooh. All right.
Yep.
You got an update for all-time, monthly?
Yeah.
That kind of special stuff?
Yeah, I already did all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, that is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. The other tradition we have is guessing Colin Cowherd's open. He takes over at noon. And I don't did either of us get a point yesterday?
What
did he lead with? You got a point.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was a Chiefs lead. It always was a Chiefs lead. 21-20 is the score. We're both reached 20 points. I haven't been tied or taken the lead on you since way on early in the show.
Like when it was 0-0?
I think I got up on an early lead of you like 4-2 or something early on. And then ever since then, it's been all you. So I got a chance to potentially tie it up today. Good news for you is you get to go first. Episode 95 today of the Ben Bosscher Show, Ben. So that would mean what day is going to be episode 100?
Next Tuesday?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's big.
It's real
We got a
fun.
week to plan that out.
Big one, hundo?
We got to do something crazy.
Something ridiculous.
Maybe we do the show live from center field. I don't know.
Down on the on the field? We could have 100 takes. What if we did 100 takes in 3 hours?
That'd be good.
They'd by the 99th and 100th, they're either going to be really awesome
No, we're gonna
takes
hit 'em
or
all,
really
yeah.
bad takes.
All right, what are you picking today?
No,
Tough day because you got 2 games to choose from.
this is easy.
There's 2
It's Caleb
angles.
Williams.
Yeah,
It's Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is back. He's playing efficiently with Ben Johnson. They pick up a win, a playoff team. Their schedule's really easy. I don't believe in any of those things. I think that's what Colin Cowherd's going to open with because their schedule is kind of a joke the rest of the season, at least for the next 2 months.
What if he did like Jake Moody stuff?
Ooh, Jake Moody.
This is
Everyone
why-
counted him out.
This is why you draft a kicker in the 3rd round. It just takes some time. No. Yeah, I mean, there's like a slight chance that if he's going, like if he does football, I think it's going to be Caleb. So I feel like I almost may have to pivot to the Dodgers Brewers, but there's no way.
I'm going to be silent.
I just don't know if I take the perspective of, okay, do I stay in the same game and talk about maybe Jaden Daniels discussion, like maybe he's not as good as Caleb, which that's still kind of the same thing, so it doesn't really count. Or do I pivot to the other game, but is that going to be a pro-Falcons lead, or is that going to be are the Bills in trouble lead? I kind of think I go that direction. Are the Bills in trouble? Yeah, I think that's my pick.
I think you made the right decision. That's what I would have gone with if I had the 2nd pick and you took Caleb Williams. But I think this is
no way
another
he's
day.
all like,
it's going to
the
be Caleb.
Falcons with Michael Penix. They might be legit. Like, unless it's like a Bijan thing, which that could be the case.
Which is weird because Atlanta's a big enough market to do it, but it feels like
But it's
across
just 'cause
all sports.
Michael Penix is just their quarterback. Like,
yeah, it's not exciting. And it feels like that happens across like the sports I care about too. Like, I don't know, like nobody talks about the Hawks as a serious team. That's maybe because they're super mediocre, so are the Falcons.
and
but
they've never had
it's
like
not
a
like
super
they're a big, tiny
duper-
market.
They haven't had a super duper star since Dominique Wilkins. You know,
Yeah.
like it's all about having a super duper star.
And I don't think the Falcons have one.
They might with they might with Bijan.
Well,
But
Bijan,
it's a
yeah, but
running
you need a
back.
quarterback.
Yeah, it has to be the quarterback. Yes.
For Colin Cowherd to open up with you, it needs to be a running.
A little bit of breaking news for
quarterback.
you here too, Ben.
What's going on?
Josh Allen no longer the favorite to win the MVP.
Baker, Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Plus 200. Allen is second at plus 300.
Comes
Baker right there at plus 350.
MVP number 3 on the way.
Jared Goff 5th, by the way.
For Patrick Mahomes.
Your boy Drake May is 4th.
Actually?
Yes.
Wow.
Terrible.
Who else would it be?
Give me Stafford.
Okay.
Give me Daniel Jones.
Lamar
Jackson somehow is still like scraping the top 10 of this list.
Yeah, that's
just makes no sense.
No, for sure. I would go. I'd honestly bet on Mahomes. I always say if you're gonna bet on MVP, just bet on Mahomes every single year, and he's going to eventually win you some money. This year might be that year. 3-3. Everyone has them as number one team in the power rankings. They're at the top of my Tuesday tower. Mahomes the favorite to win MVP. They're going to run the table. They play the Bills in a couple of weeks, so it should be a really fun game.
Yeah, I mean, they still do have a pretty tough schedule just because obviously they're playing a first-place schedule in one of the tougher divisions in the league.
Are the Colts going to be the 1 seed? That feels like a possibility, like
no
a real
way.
possibility.
There's no way.
I mean, you just said the Chiefs have a brutal schedule, and the Colts...
I mean, it's not brutal. I mean, they've played a lot of their brutal schedule already.
Colts' upcoming schedule is
schedule's
Chargers,
not that bad,
Titans, Steelers, Falcons, Chiefs, Texans. It's not crazy.
Jags, Seahawks, Niners, like that's kind of a...
It's tough.
They have a tougher schedule for sure.
Who knows? Do you have the book pulled up? Like, who's the favorite to win the 1 seed? Is that a thing you can pull up in the next 20 seconds?
There's got to be something to win the conference, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, to be the 1 seed, the Bills are the favorites still.
Oh, still.
Colts are second, though.
Chiefs third?
Yep.
All right. Steelers way down that list because they're fake. All right, we appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow. Big Win Wednesday, giving away Michigan versus Michigan State tickets. Yeah, that's right. You're going to the game if you want to text in for a chance to win. That is tomorrow at 10:15 for Big Win Wednesday. Thanks to our friends at Garber Chevrolet. All right, we'll talk